Yo, 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 hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Andrewcast. And today's episode is brought to you by Buck2. Let me take a second and tell you about Buck2, what Buck2 is. Buck2 is an American fashion brand inspired by art and urban culture. You see, they blend Afro-inspired art and urban aesthetics to create unique and one-of-a-kind products that you will not find anywhere else in the world. As a brand, they want to see every authentic aspect of you, the customer, within their products. They are striving to create and awaken the culturally elevated through quality clothing that reflects you, again, the customer. Buck2 is really awesome. I had the honor of having Kris, the CEO, on our podcast, and he's a really, really good guy. And his product is really awesome too. I bought some of their merchandise before I had Kris on the show, and I was really happy with it. So, today, what I can do for you, the listener, is I'm going to hook you up real quick. If you go to the Buck2 website and you go to checkout and you put in the code Andrewcast39, that's all caps, Andrewcast, and then the number 39, you get 10% off your order. 10%. That's what I can do for you, the viewer, 10% off. So, go on over to Buck2.co. All you got to do is Google it, Buktu, to get you some Afro urban clothing. It's awesome. It's stylish. It's highly artistic. Great products. Thank you, Kris. Thank you, Buck2. Thank you, Andrewcast listeners. And enjoy the show. Welcome back. Episode 48 of the Andrewcast. And let me just roll call real quick. I got the all-knowing, the all-encompassing, the ever-present Sheldon Fogle to my left.
How you doing, my brother?
As always. I have Ryan Acuna, the free spirit, the traveler, the multilinguist, and just the Japanese anime connoisseur right
That's
adjacent
you, man.
from me.
Please, that's you.
No,
Are you kidding me? You literally know every piece of information about Japan. You at least know the most of anyone I know.
The honor is yours, man.
I mean, it's nice, but like honors don't mean anything if you can't back them up.
I cannot take this.
Guys, don't listen to him.
This honor is misbestowed. And then we have my man Kris, previous Frequent Game podcast host, previous Twitch streamer,
Yo.
and current UFC fight commentator in the building right now.
Oh, you commentate?
Sipping, licking.
Official or unofficial?
He said
Some
we
Snapchat
dabble.
commentary.
Okay.
Little predictions here and there.
Right.
Yo, yesterday I saw mid-90s, the first movie that Jonah Hill written.
What was that?
I meant to go see it.
How was it?
Yeah.
Excellent. It was probably one of the best movies I've
Wait,
seen all year.
repeat. You're saying that is the first one he wrote?
It's his debut.
It's his debut.
Oh,
It's his
wow.
first film.
Directorial
Okay.
debut.
It was so good. And what's funny is like,
He was just was he promoting that on SNL? Because he was just on there as a host.
He was.
and Breakfast Club.
Yep.
I was
Oh, wow.
talking about like hip hop.
And Hot 97 and also Big Boys Neighborhood. He was everywhere.
Go see it. It's amazing. It's
Really?
about skateboarding.
I believe it.
and just
He
growing
killed
up.
SNL.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good, man.
He's I like his sense of humor, like the Superbad like style of humor. I love that.
I mean, that whole friend group, like him, James Franco, Seth Rogen, like all those guys have that sort of comedy.
Yeah.
Do you remember that This Is the End?
Yeah, I've never seen that movie.
You should
Classic.
see it.
I know it's crazy. It's like the
it's-
apocalypse one, right?
So funny.
Chris, what's going on over there, dog? Is it
chilling, bro.
falling?
I want to know, is mid-90s funny, though?
It is.
Because he said it's about him as a kid fitting in with like a skateboard crew?
I wouldn't say him. I'd say he's trying to capture the quintessential 90s experience of a kid like trying to be cool.
Yeah.
So I'll back up a little bit. So like the premise of the movie is, and I'm not going to spoil too much, it opens up with his big brother beating him up. Like just punching him, just like throws him on the ground, punches him, then walks away.
Off
and
the rip.
just off the rip.
Does it look like Jonah Hill?
No,
No,
man,
it's like a little. It looks like a little emo kid kind of.
yeah, it looks like that
Okay,
kid from the
okay.
Lorax.
He was on
He was on the
bro.
Tonight
he
Show.
was on one of the late
Yeah.
shows.
And Jimmy Fallon was like, "Oh, can you do a kickflip?" And he was like, and he busted one out. And I was like,
That
all
is-
right.
yeah,
Then he went for the
Oh, so
tray
the kid
flip
can
right
actually
after.
skateboard.
Yeah, they
he's
all can
talented.
skateboard.
They all can skate.
The whole cast are all skaters.
Okay.
So it starts off with him getting beat up, and then his brother's just like, "Don't ever come in my room again." Then it's like a shot of his brother doing push-ups, and then
Been there.
the opening credits is him sneaking into his brother's room and just going through all of his stuff. Like it's just so satisfying to see. Like he's trying on his hats, he's listening to his albums, and like it just shows this kid's life. And he's trying to be cool. Like the whole thing is like he's trying to be cool. He's trying to prove himself to a bunch of older friends that he's hanging out with. And it's painfully realistic. Like the stuff he goes through and the stuff he does, like sometimes you cringe because it's so real. You know how like when you're watching The Office and Michael Scott says something just like so off wall, you're like, I can't believe that. Like I can't.
Yeah,
believe
I'm
he said
thinking
that.
of the racist episode where he like has to have a
Yeah.
whole meeting with everyone about not being
sensitivity
racist. Yeah,
training.
yeah,
Sensitivity
yeah. It's like
training.
That shit was
episode 2 or
funny.
3.
There's so many moments like that in this because it's so realistic and it doesn't pull any punches. Like you have to watch it, man. All of you guys have to see it. It's
Or I didn't
really,
even know
really
it was out. So
good. Yeah,
Came out 2 weeks ago. I think. Yeah, October 24th.
I saw it at the Ritz in Philadelphia. Well, I can't even talk. And there's a rule with that movie theater that you can't buy a ticket 15 minutes after the movie starts.
Why is
so
that?
when the movie starts, you only have a 15-minute window to get your ticket and get in.
Well,
they don't want anyone walking in during the movie. So it's kind of like a pretentious movie
I
theater.
like that.
I guess,
Yeah.
but like at the same time, why would you want to buy a ticket for a movie if you're already 15 minutes late?
Previews are 20.
See, exactly.
Ah,
Most
yeah,
people-
maybe,
most people
maybe.
think
Got
like
that 5-minute window.
Yeah, most people
yeah.
think
Well,
like that.
Yeah.
Well, then if there's a 5-minute window, then they're giving you 10 whole minutes past that to make it to the theater. Even like I don't know, like if I didn't start from the beginning, because a lot of movies they have like this beginning part that sets the entire movie up, and if you miss that, then the whole movie's just a big question mark.
They re-released the Dragon Ball movies, the Bardock movie, and it was the Bardock movie and the Janemba Fusion movie. So Aunt and I were going like 2 weekends ago.
I saw your Snapchat where you were posting that.
We walk in and the guy gives us trading cards, just like you would like in the early 2000s.
Like
if
a
you go to see
Yu-Gi-Oh
movie.
trading card?
He gave us a Dragon Ball trading card.
Okay.
And we're like, oh, this is awesome. And he goes, you're late. And I'm like, huh? He's like, you're late. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know this was a high school class. Like, why are you telling me I'm late? So I'm like, whatever. Aunt's getting popcorn. I walk to the movie theater. Yo, it's 15 minutes into the movie. I'm texting him. I'm like, get here right now.
That's
and what's
funny.
funny is like we've seen this movie 1,000 times.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
Bardock movie, but he's
Right,
like, oh
right.
my god,
Yeah.
like he was panicking so hard. But yeah, that guy was like, you're late. I've never had that happen to me in a movie before.
I mean, at least he let you in, and at least he let you keep your card.
what else is he gonna do? You know,
Withhold your card.
it was a weird experience. though.
Does
That's
Dragon
all
Ball
I
have a
gotta say.
trading card game? Like an actual trading card game?
It does. I mean,
Have you played it?
No, man. It's like one of those super obscure things. Like I feel like everything has a trading card.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's money to be made, but what is it, like a Yu-Gi-Oh?
I don't know. It was more of like a camaraderie thing. Like you guys were into Pokemon when you were little kids. Like when
Oh,
you,
yeah.
dude, when you went to the theater to see the Pokemon,
Get the
movie, like,
Mewtwo?
Pokemon?
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
the holographic Mew.
Exactly.
I got
And then the
that,
second
yeah.
one, you got like Did you get Lugia? Was Lugia like the second one?
I remember that's where my memory falters.
Oh,
for
no.
the movies.
I saw like up to 3. Like with Entei. You remember that one?
Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
The legendary
Andrew.
dogs.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
I've seen
I'm
that.
pretty I'm pretty sure Entei was the only one in it. But I'll never forget like that Entei movie came out when everyone was starting to fall away from Pokemon in like my grade.
Yeah.
I remember I was so excited that movie was coming out. I was gonna invite my best friend Billy, and yeah, we were gonna go to the movies. We'd be
Billy's
fucking,
such a best friend name.
yeah, but we were gonna go to the movies. It was gonna be fucking awesome, and we're gonna have so much fun. I call him. I'm just like, yo, like this movie's coming out. Like my parents said that you can come with me to see it. Like let's fucking go.
Yeah.
And he goes, Ryan, I actually I don't watch Pokemon anymore.
What?
And like I'm in second grade. He's literally like I'm in
Whoa.
second grade. Like
Billy
I'm
was
a,
over
I'm
it.
a grown man. you know, like grown man don't watch
Grown man
Pokemon.
Billy.
What? What grade were you in?
And the same grade as him. I must have
Oh,
been second or
dude.
third grade, and I was devastated. But you know what I did? I said, Yeah, that's okay. I don't think I even like Pokemon that much either. That I hung up the phone.
And dude, the camera zooms out and your room's
I'm
full of
just like-
Pokemon
I'm
stuff.
just-
Like,
Yeah,
just posters all over
basically.
the wall.
Basically.
It's everywhere.
Basically,
He
I was
probably had
playing I was in the midst of playing the trading card game, as I call
dude.
it.
He probably had an older brother. That's what it is, man.
He
Or
beat,
like
I
a
don't
older
beat
even
the
brother.
shit out of him.
I don't even remember at
Oh,
this
no.
point. I just remember I was devastated. I felt like I lost a friend. I felt like I lost a whole Pokemon community. You know.
Yeah, man. No, I feel that. That's one of those childhood ending blows, dude. What I was gonna say though is, speaking of video games, I didn't mean to just totally drop into this 100%, but like,
We're about to do this.
yeah, we are about to do this, man.
So-
If you don't mind, I know that like you were playing Fortnite for a while, but like you don't play it anymore. And you said something interesting when I was talking to you, last weekend, I think it was. You were like, streaming ruined video games for you.
Yeah, so I think people see video games and they're like, that's not a sport, which I don't think it's a sport.
Yeah.
But
It's competitive.
I used to play Fortnite 8 to 10 hours a day, like every day. And I would play like solos, so I would die. I win or die, re-enter, win or just boom, boom,
Fire
boom.
them
Right.
Did you
all.
have any time to rage at all? Like any
I would
reaction?
rage, trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me.
When you
And
say
then
rage, what do you mean?
just like you're just mad.
Oh,
You're
rage
like,
quit?
Like, you know, like a boom on your desk. Like, but I have people in my chat like they'll like clip it and be like, "Oh, dude, like this is so funny."
Yeah.
And I'm actually like mad.
Of course, yeah.
But you have like people watching you, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, whatever. But then it got to the point where I was falling away from it because I couldn't like get up and eat, or else I would come back and nobody would be in my chat no more.
Yeah.
And you're trying to grow a channel, grow a brand. It's just so mentally taxing. Like I
Right.
never thought that it's not even video games. Like I can play video games without people watching me, and I'm cool.
Mhm.
But then when like you, like all three of y'all would be in my chat and be talking to me, there's just something about it that's so draining. And what's up?
Well, do you think it's like a pressure? Like you feel like you have pressure on people watching you?
No, not at all. I think it's more so just like it takes the fun out of the game that you're playing. Like you feel forced
To do what?
play the game.
In mass quantity.
Yeah, because I
Mask
know
Because he has people watching him, so the only thing you can do is play that game to keep the people
I have a
watching.
kid. I have a friend that I grew up with. He was a Marine. He got out of the Marines. He was like, let me try this streaming gig because he was always good when we were little kids at video games like Halo. And he plays Fortnite the majority of his time, and he'll play like World of Warcraft or like a Red Dead when it's like 1 a.m. and it's not peak hours anymore. So he's forced to play Fortnite for this chunk of time because in his mind, and it's basically like a fact that it brings in viewership and it retains viewers over time. So I was like, I did it for eight months to a year, and I was like, this kind of killed. Like I don't play Fortnite anymore. Like it killed the whole game.
Wow,
for me.
really?
Killed the whole game for me. Probably they update the game too much, and I don't know if you play Fortnite,
I've played it here and there, but I've always died.
but they implement the weirdest things in the game now that I don't even like the game.
Well, they had that Thanos event right around the time that the
Yeah.
Avengers 4 came out.
It's changed even more.
I'd say
since then.
anything
Bro, it's
after
like
that,
not even the
it got
same
weird.
game. It's not even the
Really?
same game.
So what
anymore.
else has happened?
So like I don't know. It's a building game. You know how like you could build,
Yeah, that's
And
the that's the part I was worst
and
at.
if you messed up a building, you
Same.
would fall and die.
Yes.
Now
yes, I'm reliving it
Now
right
you
now.
can deploy a glider. You don't even die. There's no fall damage.
What do you mean? What do you mean a glider? Like you literally press a button
the
and
thing-
something like stops
The
you from
thing that
falling?
you come off the bus on,
You fly
Yeah.
off the bus. Remember that glider?
Yeah.
Now
you can
deploy
deploy
it.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so dumb.
I think 3 stories up, you can deploy that. And I was like, this is corny. They like messed up the shotguns.
Well, are you vulnerable at least while you're falling?
I mean, you're kind of slower.
It's pretty fast, kind of.
it's
You're
a
like,
quick little like because you could like open your glider, close it, and like zip around real quick.
Because I could see them balancing it by like you're a sitting duck for like a sniper or something, you know.
They added balloons, and you need 8 balloons or 6 balloons to get into the sky. That's vulnerable because you're just like going up on a balloon.
But, okay. Yeah.
But other than that, dude, I only played Fortnite when I streamed. I started on Cuphead. I don't know if any of you.
I love.
Yeah,
Cuphead.
yeah. That's a
Great
really
game,
cool
right?
indie game.
That's like so people who grew up with Contra, like if you grew up with Contra, then you're gonna feel Cuphead.
It's a great
because
game,
I was
right?
feeling
Yeah.
Cuphead. I love
No
it.
one watched me play it.
Yeah, man.
What's a single player game? Don't correct me if I'm wrong. Are most streaming things only popular when it's multiplayer? and you
Cuphead
have
is
to compare?
multiplayer.
No,
Say that again.
Cuphead has multiplayer.
You do
can play with two people.
co-op.
But like you're not playing against each other.
No.
right?
No, it's co-op.
I-
Yeah, okay. good
There's
point.
streamers like 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 Summit 1G. Do you know him at all?
No.
He's like a variety streamer.
Okay.
He played like Counter-Strike, but he can play a single player game. Granted, he's already big, but he can retain like 20,000 people playing like God of War.
Like the only thing I've seen people play single player for is like to see how fast they can beat it.
Like time, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
they're pretty big on
but
Twitch.
people just watch it for the sake of watching someone play.
Some
it.
people will watch it, like
Okay.
big streamers. A lot of people who played Fortnite, like God of War came out, or Spider-Man came out, and their viewers dropped by a couple thousand, but they still had a nice.
Just
chunk
because
of
they were
people.
playing those games.
Yeah.
If you're not a
Yeah.
big streamer, playing a single player game is like pretty much wasting your time. Like I had a fluke moment where I got a Hellblade Stream of Sacrifice, and I was like, I'll stream it, whatever. If anyone watches, so I start the game. As soon as I fire up the game, I had 25 people watching, like just 25, like chilling, talking, all that stuff. So now, like he said, I'm like, well, it looks like today I'm beating the game.
Right.
So I sat there from 9 a.m. until close to like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Until I beat the game, and I had like 25 to 35 people watching the whole time. I was exhausted. I was tired. I didn't eat all day. I didn't even use the bathroom. Like I was just chilling there because I was like, dude, if I get off, it's gone.
It's that
Like,
viewership.
you got to catch that wave.
So you,
Sheesh.
what? You just got something really cool in the game, and then people just
No,
found
dude,
it?
I just literally I fired it up. I was playing like 10 minutes in. Next thing I just see ding, 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 ding. It just kept going. I'm like, yo, what the hell?
Well,
Why are all these people watching?
How do people find you? I mean, how do these 30 people find you
So
specifically?
it's like an algorithm. So instead of streaming it from my computer through OBS, I stream it off the PlayStation. So
Yeah.
people on the
You
PlayStation,
do it with PS4.
yeah, there's a whole like algorithm that just pushes only on PlayStation to one way, and then everyone else another way. So
it keeps forking until it finds you.
something like that. So people who were watching on their PlayStation watch PlayStation viewers. So they were like, oh, I want to watch some Hellblade. Then they see me. But then people who are on the computer were like, I want to watch some Hellblade. They would also see me. And I was only one of two people streaming the game, too. So that also helped.
So they only found you because they were looking for the specific game, and they
Yeah.
saw that you were playing.
And
that
then
game.
I was like the only one playing it.
Okay.
And I think it was popping at the time, too.
I wasn't
think
sure
it
if they could like search you or something like that.
they could have, but like I said, I was nobody.
Yeah,
so I was just
Not
like,
notable enough.
So
yeah,
I
it's
was
very hard
playing
for
it.
that to happen.
and dude,
Mhm.
and like the game's tough and the game's challenging.
Mhm.
So like it'll make you rage. And like if you die,
I can't imagine you angry, dude.
I don't get angry, but like there's certain games just like
Rage is a
Get
type of
ticks.
anger, right?
People
they get
get you
that tick,
frustrated.
yeah. So in the game, if you die more than 3 straight times, you have to start all the way over.
No way.
Yeah, it's one of those games.
What?
So
what are other games like that? What other games?
I think Dark
Dark
Souls.
Pikmin was
is
like
Dark Souls
Bloodborne.
like that. Pikmin.
Pikmin, the first
for the
game, I
GameCube?
guess it's a little different, but the first game you had 30 days to beat it, 30 in-game days to beat it, or else you just lost, and then you had to
yeah.
start all over again.
So
And it was, sorry. Go
so
ahead.
I went through the whole game.
Rage,
knowing,
rage.
So I had people watching me,
Uh-huh.
and I knew that if I died more than 3 times, it's over.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't die in the game once.
Mhm.
I ran through that game like, and my eyes are just like bloodshot. I'm like, I want to stop.
dude,
Did you come down to your last life towards the end?
So at the end of the game, there's this part where you're fighting like 30 people, and it's super hard.
Yeah.
But I'm at this point. I played like 13 hours straight. I have the control. I could play
Muscle
with my
memory.
eyes closed.
Muscle memory when you play a game.
Dodge, roll,
yeah.
all that
You
attack,
got
light,
it.
heavy.
You're
I
just
knew,
in constant state of flow.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm flowing, and then I'm like at this last part, the last chapter, for like close to 2.5 hours of fighting just these 20 people. So I was like, fuck this. I'm done. I was like, I'm done. So dude, they kill me, and then it goes to the cutscene, and I beat the game, and I'm like, I was like, oh really?
You're supposed to die?
I was supposed to die. But because I played the whole game thinking that you can't die, the part where it wants you to die, I was playing
That's
that
funny.
one part for close to like 2 hours,
Wow.
just fighting. And I'm like, why
So
is
brave.
this so long?
Yeah.
I was like, they just keep coming
You were
and
supposed
coming.
to go down.
Dude,
So you
whoa.
played like an hour longer than you had to.
Straight. Way more than that.
the stream, they're probably like first time.
Dude,
You had
definitely-
to
definitely
eat,
first
you
time.
had to poop, you,
wanna
had
how-
to sleep.
Dude, you want to know how hard it was? They had every single boss in the game fighting you all together on this one part. And I like I said, I had the
And
muscle
you
memory
didn't
down.
even
Like,
think like maybe I'm supposed to die here.
I gave up. I was like, I'm done.
You
I was
didn't
like, I'm
sound
done.
like you gave up. It sounds like you.
No, I put
went
the
way
controller down and
longer.
let them kill me because
That's
I was
probably
like,
what they
I'm fed up.
wanted.
Yeah, that's
Honestly.
what they wanted.
That's one of the worst tropes in video
ridiculous.
games, man. There's always the repeating boss cycle at the end of games where it's like a miniature version of all the bosses you faced all at once. And there's this thing that I call like the boss psych out. When you're fighting a big boss in video games and like you've done it 40 times and you're actually getting close to beating it, it's when you start thinking about it that you lose. Like,
Yeah.
you ever been there where you're like, I'm actually about to beat this? Like, as soon as you think that,
Yep.
you're done.
Yep.
You have to treat it like you're gonna die, dude.
And
It's so crazy.
And it was rough. It like, cause they do that on purpose. They're like, no one's gonna be able to withstand this for more than like 10 minutes because it's
Yeah.
tough. But because I was playing for literally 14 straight
You were
hours,
going, bro.
I was just going like this, just like the whole hand movements. Like no one was touching me. And then I was like, oh my god, I'm tired. So I put it down. Then the cutscene starts, and I was like,
You must have cried, bro.
it was a great game.
The only
but
time my eyes.
Did anyone say good game?
I don't know. As soon as the credits started rolling, I just see
They're out.
25,
0.
22, 15,
Oh, that's
11.
so sad.
Not
Five.
even a comment.
They don't care.
Not
That's
a thumbs
so
up.
sad.
Yeah.
But because of that stream, I think that's what got me affiliate.
What, like a thumbs up?
No, affiliate status on Twitch, so I could start receiving money to
Oh,
stream.
cool. Have you received anything?
No.
How
'Cause
much?
it's
How much
hard.
does it take to like get $1? Like
Well,
1,000 people.
That's why we
Yeah,
got
that's-
my man's
yeah.
on
Oh,
right
true,
He'll
now.
true,
tell you.
true.
Yeah,
I'm
man,
sorry.
Affiliate took me 2 months.
Okay.
So a subscription, $5. I would receive $2.50.
For every person.
Yes, but you would have to give me $5.
Right.
And like
first.
if you gave me like $1 on PayPal, I would get like I think 89 cents. 'Cause
Oh, I
PayPal
see.
takes
I
the
see.
cut.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you could also do bits, which is Twitch money, and you can give me 100 bits, which is $1. But Twitch works that you have to have 100 in your balance to get the money. So if you have 60, like if I have 60 in my I quit. So if I have 60 in my account right now, I'll never see it.
Because you can't get like.
You got to get the $100 threshold.
Yeah, you can't get like 60 cents. is what
Yeah.
You're saying.
So it's like I cashed all my money out. 2 people still subbed to me. I don't know who they are. Dude, I get like $5 a month, and I'm just like, I feel bad.
Loyal followers, man. Loyal
This
followers.
one kid was a Marine. He just hit me up on
Oh,
Twitter,
man.
and I guess he was like doing his Marine duties. And he was like, "Yo, man, do you like stream?" And I was like, "Nah, man." So like, I was like, "If you like sub to me, definitely stop doing that, because like, I don't play video games like that."
But thanks for the $5.
What was the highest number that you pulled in, if you don't mind?
Like overall, or
Just like on one stream, you're like, wow,
Viewership?
this is pretty high. Yeah, like this.
yeah.
is
So back to like what Sheldon was talking about. I was playing Fortnite this one day, and
I think I remember this.
I was chilling, whatever, and this girl who streamed predominantly World of Warcraft was on the Fortnite wave. She's like, "Let me try it out," you know. Hit me with it was either a 300 or 700 person host,
Whoa.
and I was like, "Oh shit," you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm already 8 hours deep, you know.
Right.
Like, and all of a sudden it was just like boom, and I was like, "Shit, I ain't getting off till 4 a.m."
Can't walk away now.
Never walked away, so I stayed on the whole night. Got off at 5 a.m. and I averaged around 72 viewers, or like 69 or something. And of course, I never retained any of them, because when you stream, you think that's the golden ticket,
Right.
but none of them came back.
So what is the golden ticket?
I don't know.
You haven't figured
You
it
want
out.
to hit partner.
It seems like lightning.
You
want to
be a partner.
You want to be a partner.
So you can run advertisements.
Partner, as in like you just have someone else you stream with.
No, partner. So there's an affiliate, which
And we're talking about Twitch, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So affiliate is 3 average viewers
a month for 30
Okay.
days.
for 30 days for a month, yeah. And
Then it jumps.
after those, then you're like, okay, you get affiliate. That means you get the button where people can sub to you like a subscription. They could donate you bits. They
For
can,
money.
Yeah, they can donate you PayPal whenever, so that
Uh-huh.
doesn't matter. And then partner is 75 concurrent viewers
A month. Or like per
in a
view.
month, in a period of a month.
Okay, you get 75 viewers in a month, and then you get this.
And then you get the check. It's like a Twitter check.
Okay.
You get the check from
Yep.
Twitch. Then you can run advertisements. You get like if you go to like TwitchCon in like California, you get
have
like a
a
special
booth.
badge and all that. Like,
So think about this, ready? So to get an affiliate, you have to average at least 3 people watching you, right?
Yes.
Now, so that's affiliate. There's only one more step. It's partner.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of averaging 3 people to watch you for a month, it has to be 70.
Which is hard.
it's very hard.
That's why people quit, because it used to be easy. And then they were like,
Were you
"This is
ever an
getting too easy."
affiliate?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you were an affiliate, did you have people reaching out to you asking for advertising?
No.
Okay. Did you ever work with someone for advertising?
What do you mean by advertising?
Like you said, you can run advertisements, right, or
Partner.
commercials.
You gotta be a
Oh,
partner.
I'm sorry. I thought.
but that's within Twitch, because
Did I say affiliate? Sorry, I meant partner.
so partner. There's like a dashboard where it has like all your stats, like viewers, time running, and you would run an ad. And this dude who plays Hearthstone. I don't know if you guys like Hearthstone.
I do know about
No,
that.
I know
Card
what it is.
game by Blizzard.
Yeah.
Okay.
He made a video, and it's like taboo to talk about how much money you make on Twitch.
Right.
And this dude was just like, I'm gonna do it, you know? Makes a YouTube video talking about if he ran an ad, he would make, it's either $1 per person or it's like 100 per person.
Wow.
Wow.
Or
holy
some
shit.
weird like number. It's like he said he was gonna make like a couple thousand running one ad.
Yeah.
Just one ad.
Well, if you're a partner, you have
for
like 70,
Hearthstone,
70
dude.
viewers times
Like,
100.
not Call of Duty.
He
Not
averages
Fortnite.
10,000
There's-
viewers.
I'm pretty sure there's like close to more people that before the new Call of Duty came out. Hearthstone's a pretty popular game. There's weird off games.
He was
Remember we were
averaging
talking about
10,000.
the board game place.
10,000, dude.
Comic-Con? They just watch.
10,000 people, and he
That's a
would say
lot.
like a company would reach out to you if you were averaging 10,000, and they would be like, "Yo, play Battlefield, we'll pay you." And if he had 10,000 viewers, he said he could have made easily $10,000 to $30,000 an hour.
See, that's the attraction. That's why so many people try it. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Because
yeah.
that opportunity is gold. But what I was gonna ask you is, and hold your question
No,
for just
yeah,
one
sure.
second.
Go
What I
ahead.
was gonna ask you is like the flip side of it, which is, what did your average day look like when you were doing this for 8 months? You know what I'm saying? Like, what did you do, bro? Like, what time did you wake up? And like,
Yeah.
how did you eat? How did you go to the bathroom? Like,
Yeah,
what
so-
was your mental state like?
So I had some funds like saved away. I graduated school.
Yeah.
I started streaming my last semester in school, and I was like, okay, let me try this real quick
Yeah.
because it's a huge market. But I think the problem is going in thinking I'm about to make some money. It's the worst thing to do. I was like I'm not growing today. Waste of time. When in fact, Ninja.
Yeah.
He's like the biggest. It took him 10 years, you know, and I'm over here like, give it to me, you know, give it to me. Because you see all this because it popped off quick.
Yeah.
So I'd had the hardest time making a schedule. So I would try I did 5 p.m. sometimes. I did a couple morning streams, yada yada yada. But I would find myself. So I did 6 to 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. But I would find myself sitting at the computer and not wanting to hit start stream.
Just in sheer
Well, I
dread.
feel like if you do
Yeah.
anything long enough, you're just like,
I was
you come to
sitting
that
there.
wall.
I was sitting there and I was just all I'm playing is video games, you know. It's not. I'm not leaving my house.
What? How far in are you? Is this 3 months in?
So yeah, no. The first 6 months, I was like, yeah, it's cool, you know.
Yeah, it's all right,
It's
yeah.
cool. It's cool. It's cool.
Boys
And
live.
then, bro, I'm talking 6, 7, 8, 9 month. I was sitting there oh, I don't want to hit it.
It's like if you have pizza. Everyone loves pizza, but if you
Right.
have it every single day for a month, for 2 months, for 3 months,
over,
eventually
yeah.
you just don't want to look at it.
And that's a big part why I quit, dude. It's not. It did ruin video games for me, but it came to a point where I was just I don't want to stream. I was I
Yeah.
don't want to hit this button. But I would still play Fortnite on the low,
Right.
you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So people would add me to play with me because I'd be yeah, because that was a big fascination. It was you're very good at the game, get me a win.
Right.
So I would have a friends list of a lot of people I'd never even met. I would
getting
play with them a
pimped
little
out.
bit, and they would hit me up and be like, "Yo, man, what's up? Why aren't you streaming?" And I was like, I would just dip it. I was like, bro, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
And they still hit that Discord to this day.
And there's people I had a Discord. I tried
That's
to
cool.
I made a Twitter. I made my own personal Discord.
Nice.
And this one kid who I thought he was a great viewer, dude. He
What's a
was-
Discord?
It's
It's a chat server.
it's you could do voice chat, text chat
Think like Slack
on a computer,
or like
Yeah, if you
something
ever
like
joined
that.
Slack.
like Ventrilo back in the day. I don't know if you went that far.
Nah, definitely not.
That was that Cyberzone days. If you ever
Yo,
if you ever hit Cyberzone,
I don't even know about Ventrilo, bro.
bro.
You
That's
gotta know
old
about all
days.
that, bro.
Old, bro. So he used to hit me up, and I was like, bro, I'm grateful for you and all. It was some young kid. He was
Oh,
probably at
dude.
least 17.
Yeah.
He might have been his hero.
And he would always be like, yo, Sips, what's good with you?
Oh man.
And I'm like, dude, I mean, I didn't answer, but
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, bro, I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh.
But he would continue to ask me, and I was just like, bro, but my schedule, I don't think it was a healthy one.
No, dude.
I probably woke up mid afternoon. Because like
Yeah,
I
'cause you're
thought I
playing till,
was
like 4 or 5.
I thought I was productive, but it's not like a job. But I made like, you know what I'm saying, like in retrospect, what 8 months I made 1200. So like it was like a hobby, but in my mind I was like, I'm gonna grow this, you know.
I mean, you still made money off of it more than most people.
So like waking up at 2 p.m. it was kind of like justified
Right.
a little bit because I was like, what if, you know, like what if I pop off? What if this? What if that?
No, you tried it, and I think that like, you know, had you put in the time, like you definitely would have grew it. But what you said summed it up. You're like, I don't want to do this. Like I don't like this. And like I love video games, but dude, I couldn't play for 12 hours a day.
No.
I couldn't play for 8 hours a day. Like I don't even know how you were feeling like to go eat and stuff like that. Like if it was a nice day outside, like I bet you love the rainy days. Like all right, this is cool. Like I'm super comfortable like streaming. You know, like.
But what if he wants to watch his favorite show? You know, there's so many other things you can do in the rain.
You're beat.
I got
Everything, dude. If I wanted to watch a streamer that I like watching, I'm beat.
yeah.
I can't do. I literally, that's what it was, and it was just like, you know what I'm saying, like.
What was the day like when you decided to stop? Like when were you just like
The sun just
this
starts to
is-
slowly rise.
This is it.
Nah, bro. Honestly, bro, like I feel like when I stopped, like it was partly just because like I wasn't in the right mental state in like
Right.
life. I feel
just in life
like
in general.
life, bro. Like I was like, I don't want to do this, like,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just thinking of like this, that. Like I graduated, you know, you got the loans kicking in, you know.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yep.
just like life. You just see life, and I was just like, that like took me over as a part, and I was just like, I'm not hitting the start button. Like I was like, I'm done. And like ever since I was done, I was just like,
You don't miss it.
I don't miss it at all.
Was there like a dramatic moment where you locked away a controller or something, or like got rid of something? Like,
Broke your
you know?
system.
You just said no to it. You just
Nah,
straight
I
said
thought
no.
about selling
the rig.
my capture card, which
Yeah.
which transfers the PlayStation
Mm-hmm.
to the computer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
didn't
thought
know
about
you could
selling
do
that.
Just to like completely end it. So yeah, it wasn't an addiction thing then. Like you literally have to force yourself for 8 months to play this. Like force yourself.
Yeah, like because
yeah, see,
like
that's...
I'm definitely addicted to video games. Like they're cool, you know. Like but like
Well, no, you're not addicted. I want to make a difference. Like
with what?
it's not like you love video games. You're compassionate about
Yeah.
it. But it's not like it's like I need my fix. Like all right, let's hurry this podcast up because I need to go home and play games. Like that's being.
Well, that's like
addicted.
the weird part. Cause did you see like I don't know who it was, but they deemed like video game addiction a problem or something.
Well, I mean, there are some cases where it is.
I believe.
What? There's this really famous game in South Korea. It's like this MMO. It's like in space.
MMOs are tricky, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's in space. I forget.
hear
I
that.
forget what it is.
Evo?
No,
that's not
no.
Evo.
I hate space games.
Really bothers me. What it is isn't important. It might be StarCraft. But
Momonogi?
the whole point is that like you can like play the game consistently forever and like you never have to stop.
There's plenty of games
And-
like that, man.
It's like
yeah,
any
like
place.
it's kind of like WoW. WoW's the same
No
way.
Man's Sky.
But
That's
WoW
what-
took my life.
yeah, well,
Portion.
I mean, in the United States, there are cases of that too. But in South Korea, same thing. They have these MMOs where people never have to stop playing, and people don't. Kind of like you guys said, people don't eat, people don't sleep, people don't bathe.
I think if it
you know?
alters, I don't mind that stuff. Which is, I mean, that's
Well,
daily
people
hygiene.
have died because of it.
Yeah, but like if it's like if you're dying, or if you're not going to work, if
Mm-hmm.
you're not like, I guess like social interaction maybe.
Yeah, I think it comes down to it if it's compulsive enough where you can't live your normal life.
Yeah, like, if
you
it
never
I
got
think
to
if,
that point.
I think if it alters your mood or your lifestyle, then it's definitely an issue.
well, yeah, if you're irritable without it, and like we said, if
Yeah.
you can't live your normal life with
What
it.
a lot of those people are probably doing is like playing in a dark room and just like
Yeah, it's like
melting
the,
their brain and eyes at this
it's
bright,
like, it's like
glaring
the South
screen.
Park episode.
Yeah.
The thing is,
Oh
though,
yeah, that's my favorite South Park
That's a
episode
great
actually.
one, man.
It's the
That's
World
a
of
great
Warcraft
one.
South
Yeah.
Park.
that
It's
is-
maybe the end of
It's
the
real,
world.
dude.
of
People get
Warcraft.
like that.
It's real.
Here's why though. The hook is like as humans we're very, in my opinion, we're very accolade driven. And like when you have a system that you can like constantly work in and get accolades, it feels real to you. Like you get the same sense of reward. Like in World of Warcraft when you accomplish something, or like a lot of MMOs because you're crafting, you're going out with your guys, like you're looting, you're doing all this stuff, and like you feel like you're accomplishing because you're growing your character, and you are. That's why like JRPGs are so satisfying to me. Like
Big facts.
when you're in a JRPG, you start off as like a tadpole, and you end up as a king frog,
Like a
and you're like,
fucking
that's the
candy.
best feeling ever, and you get addicted to that. That
I mean,
growth feeling is the thing. So you start
Final
conflating.
Fantasy.
You start conflating that sense of accomplishment with real life accomplishment. That's what happened to the Santa Barbara killer. Like he wrote in his memoir after he killed all those people. Well, before he killed all those people, he was like, yeah, he's like, I realized that like I was working so much on my World of Warcraft life, and this is nothing against World of Warcraft, that like I neglected my own life. That's how hard this dude was working in the game. You know what I'm saying? It's the sense of accomplishment that keeps you coming
But that's
back.
like that's tricky because do you think that? So he got so invested in the World of Warcraft,
Right.
but I feel like people like that, there's always something else.
Yeah.
Like there would have been something else if it wasn't World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
You
It
know?
takes away from whatever you could have put your time and energy into.
But I feel like if you're gonna play video games like that, you're running from something. You're running from something, whether it's your own social awkwardness or
It's a
just bullies.
distraction.
Exactly.
Or maybe you're just caught up in the high, like we talked about, of like these achievements that you're getting from this game.
I think that's I think like the reason why I play a lot of video games was it's like in a weird way like a home.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many people I've met playing video games? I don't even know them.
Right.
But like I met this dude, me and Sheldon, this dude Buck, this kid from Atlanta.
Love him.
I have a friend from
Love him.
I have
Never
a-
met him.
I have,
Love
a,
him.
I have a friend from New York, bro.
Yeah, man.
And I'm gonna meet them someday in my life.
Right.
Like, you know, like
Well,
I have love for them.
Canada. No sleep.
This kid from Canada, great kid. I've been talking to him a couple of months.
Are these all Fortnite or World of Warcraft?
Pretty much anything.
It's funny.
Two of them are Gears of War. One's
Wow, Gears, okay.
One's Fortnite.
It's funny you say that because when I don't play a lot of video games anymore, but back when I played Modern Warfare, which was like my big multiplayer game I used to play, I met a kid named a freaking Ninja. And like all our friends would like play with him all the time. He'd be in our squad. And it was all my friends, and then this kid.
You
freaking
hop
Ninja.
online, you're like, oh,
Yeah,
John,
yeah.
let's get him in.
But like we knew about his entire life. Like he'd tell us about his prom where he fucked this chick and how it was like awesome, and then they started dating and it was great. Then he got her pregnant and that wasn't so great. He had to sell his Xbox, and that's kind of when we stopped talking to him. But it's just like weird. Like you just like start to learn about all these online people who are, you know,
It's
to
a
a point they're just online, but then they
it's
become your
literally-
family.
It's literally a community. Like, it's just an online community of people that you can talk to, and it's just like you're talking to other people who literally, like, if you're playing a game, you're there for one reason because you both love that game. So then you just bro out.
You know that kid that reached out to you about streaming? He probably felt like he lost a friend because you stopped.
That whole
Yeah.
server, dude. All of them, they still chime off. Chris, where you at?
Because I go in my boy, he's sticking with it.
Uh-huh.
He gets like 30 to 40 average. And a couple people in my chat are in his chat. So
Oh,
I'll
did they
like
ask about you?
I'll come in there and be like, I'll like show some love real quick, and they'll all be like, "Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up?" And it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's in my mind, I wasn't trying to do them dirty, but I was probably like a lot of them watch me every single day.
Yeah, that's this commitment right there.
Because like it's a huge reason why I play video games. Like you got to get away from whatever you're coping with in this world. And I was always when I was a young kid playing like SOCOM 2.
Yeah.
2004. It was
Yeah,
like
man.
one of the first PlayStation Online games, and I was like, "This is awesome."
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I had some friend. My dad wanted to kick my ass, bro. I got his phone number. He's from California. This is when long distance wasn't a thing,
Oh.
bro. My phone bill was
Expensive.
300.
Wow.
300.
Jesus
Just like he would call me up. I think he was a little bit older than me too. He would call me up and like, "Yo, get on." I was like filthy at this game. I was so young. Like I would play I would play 24 hours straight.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I played so much. You know how like it was like the old PlayStations? It was the brick ones. They were big.
You talking about
Yeah.
the PS2 or the PS3?
PS2, I mean.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it came out then they came out the Slim. I had to buy the Slim PlayStation 2 because I burned SOCOM 2 into the disc reader and I couldn't play any other game.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like I was like this little kid like grinding.
That's unbelievable.
I was like top
I've
5.
never heard of that.
I was like top 500 in the world.
What?
Yeah.
How old were you?
So 04 would be
04,
fourth
You were
grade,
in fourth grade.
whatever fourth grade is. Yeah,
Wow.
probably
Your
like
parents-
11,
Your parents
12.
let you play SOCOM?
So yeah, my parents were separated. My dad would just be like, PlayStation, run it. and like the sun would
Yeah,
come
I'm gonna
up.
go play Resident Evil. Yeah, whatever.
And like that's when I
That's
hopped.
the first video game I ever played.
Really?
Resident Evil. I got off of single players at that point. Like I was real
Yeah.
big in like Devil May Cry.
Oh yeah, that's a hard game. That's super.
It was
Love
hard.
very dude.
Love it.
It made me so mad when I was a little kid. I used to play like Sega Genesis.
Mhm.
Then this multiplayer hit, and I was like, "What is this?"
Well,
Let me get some of that.
You know what I'm saying? Let me be better than somebody.
Oh, this is
'Cause
not
that-
the best.
It
Yeah,
off
it's
it offers the
competition, yeah.
component of like
Absolutely.
real life competition at this point.
Dude, I remember when that all first came about. I remember I was over my neighbor's. I was over Phil's house when I was a kid, and we were playing Battlefront.
Star Wars Battlefront 2?
Battlefront 2.
The old one?
Yeah, with the
And
heroes.
we had the router, and we were hardwiring
Hardwired in.
too.
Yep.
Bro, I was like, wow, we're playing with people like in the United States. I remember that, dude. And then Final Fantasy, what was it? 11? What was
11
the first,
was the first online one.
the first online one? Dude, that was crazy. There were people that got addicted to
Is that MMO?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
Is that console or?
Console.
console. It had its
Was
own
it?
server or anything. If you guys are familiar with Happy Console Gamer, he has a whole video where he talks about that, like, he was addicted. Like, he literally stopped going to work and just, like, played Final Fantasy 11 all day. Like, people would come and visit him. Like, girls that he was dating would come to visit him, and he'd just be like, here, sit down. And, like, they would just play.
This is
They
my
would just play.
Chocobo. What do you think of it?
And one day he was just like, I had to literally put a lock on this game and put it in a closet. He's like, and like make sure that I couldn't get to it, so that I could never play it again. And on the video, he actually opens it up for like the first time in 11 years. He's like, it just feels evil opening up this
Yeah,
box,
yeah.
dude. He's like, that's how addicted I am to
That
this
reminds
game.
me of the how I just started watching BoJack. The,
Oh,
the
yeah.
episode with Diablo where like BoJack sabotages. What's his name? What's his roommate's name?
BoJack's roommate,
Yeah,
Todd.
Todd. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
sabotaging him with Diablo too.
Yeah.
Bro,
It's a real thing.
So I think what the year was like 1999 or 2000, right? Whatever year Resident Evil came out. And my mom got me a Game Boy, right? Game Boy Color. So I'm playing, Pokemon Yellow. Addicted to this thing.
Right.
My stepdad comes home with a PlayStation 1. Just came out.
Crispy.
The
Crispy.
fat gray one, right?
Beautiful.
And he was like, I got 2 games, Gran Turismo and Resident Evil.
Oh.
My 7-8-year-old self was like, it's Resident Evil, right? Fires it up. We get into the house, turn that first room, see a zombie eating someone. I'm like, oh, it's lit. I
Yeah.
was like, yo. And like, I didn't get scared.
Mhm.
So I think that's also where my horror love came from.
Yeah.
I didn't get scared. So he was like, this is creepy. And then he like, I remember middle of the night, like everyone's going to sleep. Dude, I creep downstairs and I just fire that thing up.
You
And
played
I'm
that in the dark, dude.
in the dark.
I wouldn't even play that in
dude,
the light when I
played
was
it,
your
I played
age.
it till the sun came up.
When you
I
were a
remember
kid,
that.
how hyped did you get when you saw that orange diamond hit the screen?
Dude,
Where it was like, bling,
dude, you know what I got hype? I still get like little hypeness
Chills, yeah.
inside when I get that new game and that plastic on it. And then you tear it. Remember when the plastic used to have a smell to it?
Yeah.
Like when you open it and
Oh,
you open it
yeah.
up and you're just like, that's a brand new disc. You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
that's fresh.
You know what I'm talking about?
that's
It's like,
good.
I'm the first hand that's touching this.
Yeah, man.
Dude, and that's how it was with like the PlayStation
I'm a
1. dude.
digital man now, so that
I'm all
that
digital
feeling's
now.
lost.
Yeah.
I have to have. It's funny. I was
Only
having a
if it's
conversation.
collectors.
No, I was having a conversation with somebody at work, and I was just like, dude, the main reason why I'm not like up on the big games and stuff, like I just got a Switch and I only have 2 games for it, Sonic Mania and Sonic 1991. I was like, the big reason I'm not up on the new games, man, is because like you don't buy the full game anymore. I know I've talked about this a million times on the podcast, but like I like to have something that is like, hey, this is the full game. Because dude, who knows where I'm gonna be like when I'm 80 or when I'm 90? Like if I'm even gonna have a PlayStation, like this is my dream.
So you don't like digital, is what you're saying?
No, because if I end up in a nursing home, right, I want all my stuff. And I just want, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right
Like,
next to you.
exactly.
all
And
your
like, because I have
rocker.
so many games. Like, I'm backlogged, like 40 games that I need to play.
Oh, isn't the case
when
over
I'm
there somewhere?
when I'm old, yeah, there's a little. That's the PlayStation 2 thing right over there. When I'm old, bro, and I can't do anything, like I don't have a job to go to, you better believe I'm popping in
Grinding
some
out.
PS4 discs.
Right,
I'm not
right.
gonna look for a hard drive. No offense, that's a good way to do it though.
Oh, the hard drive
I'm
I
not
got?
gonna look for a hard drive and like hook it up and ask the
Yeah.
nurse for a USB cable. No, dog, I have the disc. I'm popping it right in.
Yeah, he's
I'm
he's
playing.
funny because he was at my house the other day and he saw the Switch. He played not even 5 minutes of a game. The next day, yo, I got one.
I needed it.
He was like,
Got it?
not even
I did.
5
The Switch,
minutes.
you mean?
Mama hooked it up for the birthday.
I'm a hater on Nintendo personally.
Yo, so you need to explain though. I understand why you would say that, but I need to hear your explanation.
I think it's 40% closed-minded, 60% I don't like the type of games they make. I'm not a huge fan. Like when people, I remember going to
Talk about the game.
I
Talk
remember
about
going
the
to
exact game
college.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'll get to that game. You talking about Zelda?
We're talking about Zelda.
All right. So I remember going to
I know you
college.
don't like Zelda. You don't like Crash.
I remember going to college, right? Everyone was like, Super Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Super Smash
Yes.
Bros. Super Smash. I was like, I don't say it.
Really?
Number one, I was trash at it, but I never wanted to get good at it because I never had a means to play by myself. But I was just like, I don't see why this game would be so crazy.
It's only fun in parties.
It's so good.
Or like Super Mario, never hit me. I played Sega Genesis. I didn't play Nintendo.
I was the same way, man. I played Sonic. Sonic is
Sonic,
like
dude.
everything for me.
Sonic was my juice, bro.
That was my
You ever play
juice.
Battletoads?
Yes, dude. That pause music.
Yeah, because people don't know about it.
You
I
ever play
say
Streets of Rage?
no.
Oh, that was my
That's a Sega
Genesis
I was
game.
like,
Yeah.
I feel
some
you.
game with a
That's a good
dragon
one.
in it. It was like two dudes. Like,
Oh yeah,
Double
Golden Age.
Dragon.
Oh, Double Dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought-
Dragon, baby.
What about Golden Age?
Oh, are you talking about Golden Axe?
Golden Axe.
Yeah,
Golden
dude.
Axe. Yeah, I love that.
Golden Axe is a
Who-
classic,
who,
man.
Who are you? I was always the axe guy.
I gotta be the elf, man. If
Oh,
I see the
really?
Axe guy. Nah, I gotta be the short little elf guy.
That's who I'm talking about.
Okay,
I thought he was a dwarf.
that's my man. When
Yeah,
you bring
yeah.
the dragon down, I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I mean, he didn't have strong magic, but like he was just a boss.
let it rain.
I just want to know.
Let it ring.
Do you think, what was it, Breath of the Wild? Is that the new Zelda?
Breath of
That's
the
the new
Wind, right?
Did
Breath
that
of the Wild.
deserve
Oh, okay.
a 10? 10 out of 10, dude.
All right, so I'll let you
I
answer,
think
and
they
then
had
I'm
that
gonna
in their
dive
minds
into this.
before the game even came out.
Same.
So,
personally,
Ego Raptor said something really interesting about IGN specifically. He said that they tend to give certain series like 10s no
Yep.
matter what. Like a
Yep.
lot of Legend of Zelda games get 10.
Yeah, they
And
do.
to be honest, I'm a huge Legend of Zelda fan, and I think that their games are excellent. I don't think they're perfect. Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Red Dead Redemption 2 get a 10?
It also got a 10 from numerous publications.
Yeah.
Guess how many hours I put into it?
Probably like 30 already.
5.
Oh,
I didn't put
And
that
they
much. I
decided
didn't put that much
5?
either.
I put 5 hours into the game.
I'm 12% in.
oh,
I'm
you're talking
13.
about you. I thought you were
Yes,
saying they rated
myself.
this game and only
It's
put 5
so
hours in.
Long.
Here's the thing.
it's super long.
One of the things that's annoying about JRPGs, we talk about this a lot,
Yeah.
is that it's very meticulous task early on in the game.
Yeah.
This is on steroids.
Yeah. No.
Like this game, as beautiful as it is, one, it has really clunky controls,
Yup.
and two, it literally you don't get to the open world part really.
Yeah.
Like it's open, but you don't get to do whatever you want.
You start off in the cabin and all that stuff.
Not even that, dude. Once you're into the real world, you don't get to do exactly what you want, like go wherever you want. Well, you can go wherever you want, but like whatever mission you want to do until you're like close to 10 hours in.
Yeah, that's.
And I'm like, and that's one of the
Well, what
problems
did
he
it-
had
what,
with The Witcher.
They make you do the linear story up
Yeah.
until 10 hours.
It's around that because I'm like 5 hours in, and it's still making me do these certain missions. I'm like, I don't want to do these missions.
Well, let's be perfectly clear here, and we're steering away from the subject of ratings. We'll get back to that. But Red Dead always suffered from clunky controls. Like even the first one on the PS3.
it's just Rockstar in general.
It's hard to make. Well, for example, moving on the horse, it's hard to make that something smooth. Like
That's hard.
Yeah, in Grand Theft Auto, it's a lot easier because you have a car and like and so many games have engineered good car video game engines where you're
Yeah.
like, this feels like a car. This feels.
no one
accurate.
has a good
There's
horse
not
engine.
a lot of horse ones. Like if you play Shadow of the Colossus, you're like, oh my god,
It doesn't turn around.
I'm crashing into everything.
It doesn't
right?
turn around.
So to be fair, Red Dead had one of the best.
did.
Horizon Zero Dawns was pretty bad.
I think that was better than Red Dead's.
I think it was too.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just more fluid because they're also robots, so I get it.
Yeah.
But like and they made this feel heavy on purpose.
Mhm.
You know, it's set in 1899, so I get it.
Yeah.
I really do. But at the same time, it's like, fuck, dude. Like, and here's the thing. Like, I don't want to play it. I don't have an urge to play it because you have to have at least 5 hours to get into the game.
That's my problem too. I don't have an urge
I don't
to play
want to do that because you know I'm going to play. You see it all the time. If I have less than 5 hours, let me fire up some FIFA games real quick.
Right.
Let me keep myself fresh till I get to the weekend league.
Right.
Right. Keep myself fresh. Or I'll go on Persona, hack out an hour. Because
That's
I know
hard.
how that game's built. I can do that.
Yeah.
That game's built a certain way where I can put an hour in and I'm making progress.
Mhm.
You don't make progress in Red Dead by putting an hour in.
No.
At least 5.
You have to like stop halfway through a mission.
Exactly,
Then when you
dude.
pull up next time.
And
it's a
also,
wrap.
like, if you kill a legendary animal, it says take it to
I
the
saw
Pelter.
those.
Where's the Pelter? It's literally 35 minutes away real time.
Well, can't you fast travel?
No,
Oh,
only
not
if you
yet?
go to a town with the post.
Really?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, if you
You have
can't
to buy the fish travel though, right?
that too. So it's just like I really got to hoof this for 35 minutes.
What's the deal? I've been seeing on YouTube with these legendary animals in Red Dead. They're just like
They're dope.
albino animals, right? Like
Something like that, like war torn. You know, they're
Yeah.
like.
And what
they
do you
look
get?
cool.
Just more money for them?
Better clothes, stronger items, stuff like that.
I saw it was like a huge alligator one.
Yeah.
Sorry, hashtag spoilers.
But
It
here's
looked really cool.
let's go back to the Zelda thing. Let's touch on that.
Yeah.
So, I noticed there was a big trend with the Zelda games. You can go on the Wikipedia page, look at the last 4 Zelda games. The last 4, they will all say this is one of the best games ever made. So I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So the Switch came out, right? People that we both know, that all of us kind of know, were playing the game. They said this is the best game I ever played. Then my first question is, what Zelda game have you played? Oh, this is my first one. Interesting, right? So me, you, we both played the Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
To me, those are close to perfect Zelda games, just RPGs in general.
I mean, have you guys played the classics?
I played the classic. I played Ocarina, but that was like that's as far as
Majora's Mask.
I played the original Zelda out of respect, but I was like, come on, bro.
It's old.
This takes
it's old, dude.
patience. It's like trying to beat Final Fantasy 1.
Yeah,
My favorite.
Well,
Zelda,
everything's a secret, right? Like all these secret passageways.
It's just meticulous and annoying.
There's a line in the game that's literally it's a secret to everyone. The best Zelda, in my opinion, Majora's Mask. So good.
For me, it's gonna be Wind Waker because it was technically like open world in 03, but
that was a great one.
But the way they designed it. So I finally get the Switch and I play Breath of the Wild. So they tell you it's like, oh, you can fight the end game boss as soon as you start the game from the jump. And I'm like, that's corny. That's literally corny because it's like
in Breath of the Wind, you can do that.
Breath of the Wild.
If you can make it there, you can see the boss on the horizon.
You can see it.
And if you travel to that, you could fight him, but you're just gonna get wiped.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm just like, what's the point of that? Because that takes kind of like the reward out of it, of the grind. But then it's like
you still have to grind though if he's just
no. But here's the thing: there's no story narrative direction.
Right.
It's just like you just play it, and then you get certain dialogues between characters. I'm like, dude, that's not a good game.
So you only get better to beat this initial boss.
The initial boss, and you see him. You literally see his tower as soon as you start. You can literally walk.
Are there any? Are there any videos on people beating them just as their base?
Yeah, there's some. Yeah. There's a couple. It's just you have to. But it's the people that already beat the game, and then they know how the boss fight goes.
Yeah.
So you can you know what to do. Kind of like I was with the Hellblade thing. I had a muscle memory at that point. I knew what to do.
Here's my opinion on that. I'm not a big sandbox game guy.
Give me the worms.
Everybody, there's a lot of people that love that. They live for like, this sandbox. Is a game where I can do whatever I want. It's free roam. I've never been that kind of person. I like narrative in a game. I like a lot of intention direction in my game. Yeah, and it's cool to have those kind of things. This game, being said, I don't agree with your consensus that it's a bad game. It's definitely a game that's.
I don't mean bad game. Sorry, I didn't mean bad game.
Okay, well, it's a game for people that like improv gameplay. If you're into improv gameplay, like if you love Grand Theft Auto multiplayer, like that's your thing, then you're gonna love this game.
But if we're going off that discussion, then the merit of getting a game a 10 needs to change.
I think IGN just gives certain series 10s, and it doesn't even have to be like a game. I think Sonic Mania is a 10.
Do you think they pay him?
Definitely.
No, I don't think they take money.
Developers like
However, I don't think they take money. But
so good.
They review games a certain way because of it's politics. If you review this harshly, if you don't like whatever, your employees now are closed off to certain events.
Maybe, yeah.
Because you got to remember, they're a journalistic company. So if you're having people that are not getting invited to certain events,
not good.
Well, you're behind the competition.
Not only that, if you just trash a game to trash it and not because like it definitely deserves it, like if you give it a lower rating than it might necessarily like need or have, like that's gonna be sales lost.
But you shouldn't get punished for your opinion.
You shouldn't get punished for your opinion, but you also shouldn't be such a high reputable source and put it so low that you're just gonna fuck up the ratings unless it's just to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my 2 cents on that. I never listen to AAA reviewers. I watch them for entertainment. I think IGN's like reviews are really cool, the way that they produce them, and it's really well put together. I like listening to the little guy. Like the voice on the street is the one I listen to. So there's a great series on YouTube called Before You Buy. You ever seen that one?
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
That's good.
Like, that's one where they get right to the point. They're just like, look, man, this is all the facts. This is what you're going to get. I never go with like exact what IGN or what GameSpot says.
Yeah.
I always go for like, first off, gameplay video, and then like little player reviews. That's how
I go with Kotaku because Kotaku doesn't give a number rating. They'll literally give you a 10-page like assessment in writing of about this game, and then it's like you get to choose for yourself if you want to play.
You prefer an essay than the number?
I'd rather listen to someone take the time to play the game and hit every single point of the game and I'm like, oh, it's this detailed. Oh, I like that. Instead of saying, Red Dead Redemption is an incredibly massive, expansive world where you can do anything you want.
Just buzzwords.
Yeah, and it's just buzzwords, things that make you catch. And then you see at the end, they give it a 10. They say it's a masterpiece, but then they have 1 plus and 2 minuses.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is this a 10?
Did you guys see the Donkey video where Spider-Man was? Where Donkey was reading all the reviews on Spider-Man from the game journalist, and they all said this game makes you feel like Spider-Man. Like they all said the same thing word for word. Dude, I totally feel that, man.
It's a fun game, but it got like 9s and stuff. I'm like,
I think like to backtrack with the Zelda comment, I've only ever played Final Fantasy 15, and I can see where the people coming from. And Zelda would say that's their only Zelda game, and it's the best Zelda game they ever played. Because I've never played a Final Fantasy, and Sheldon was like, "Yo, you need to try 15."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay," and it was like open world action RPG. And I was like, "This is probably one of the best games I've ever played."
You liked it a
It
lot.
was phenomenal.
dude,
like-
he almost cried at the end.
The connection to the characters, the story. I put 55 hours into it, and I didn't even come close to completing all the side missions.
Whoa.
And I was like, this game is amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't know where all the Final Fantasies match up, but to me, that's the best Final Fantasy. Because
Yeah.
I don't have any prior knowledge on
Yeah.
Final Fantasy, and it's kind of hard to go
But
back.
I mean, but you
Yeah.
can't.
That
but
game
you
was
ca-
made
fair
for,
enough,
for,
fair
for
enough.
him though. That game
Yeah,
was made
it was.
for him.
Because guess what? Square Enix was struggling. They were like, we need to do something
and
different.
I
that will get
love
people
Square
coming.
Enix
Me
now.
too.
But-
Like I was never like huge on them.
They did a
Yeah.
great job with Hitman, not just Final Fantasy.
Oh,
But why
crack.
say? But why
like
say
Hitman.
this is the best? Insert franchise
Mhm.
of this game ever made. If you've only played one, like you would word it differently, right?
Well, here's the
How
thing.
would you word it?
Yeah.
Like I've never played those. Like I love this game.
But
You
you
know,
know
but
what's
like-
different? So I guess it's kind of the same thing with Zelda. So there's not that many current generation Final Fantasy games. You have 15, 13, and then after that, the next one's on PS2, right? Zelda, you have the 3DS, you have 2 on the Wii U. No, Wii.
There's a Wii and GameCube. Like it came out while
There's
transitioning.
there's like close to 10 Zelda titles that you could have played in the past 10 years, whereas Final Fantasy, no, because a lot of them are super old. So like 15, I get it. Like I agree. 15 to me, I played close to 13 of them. To me, I think 15 is the best because it matched up with the times, and they actually gave you a narrative direction. And not even just that, the mechanics, you played it.
Yeah.
The mechanics were fine. They were good, but just a sense of the world. It was like a living, breathing world. Whereas the Zelda game felt like the world just revolves around you.
Yeah.
And that was one of my issues with. That's the same thing with Red Dead a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you turn, it's like, oh, sir. It's like, dude, is this only happening because
Or
I'm
you
here?
turn and they're like, get him.
Every turn, dude.
And you're like, where'd you come from, number one? Because you weren't here.
Dude, I killed a legendary animal. I'm
Was
like,
the
I'm
first
taking this
Redemption
to the
like that?
kind of.
It was a little.
I never played the first one. So,
First one was pretty good.
It's hard to play. It
the
came out in
first one-
07.
yeah.
What wasn't like the first
There's
one
two.
though.
There's two first
There was,
ones.
there was
Yeah.
Red Dead
Red Dead Revolver.
right?
Red Dead Revolver.
Yeah.
That's old.
That's
old.
PS2.
That was
Yeah.
super old.
That's hard to play.
But is that the same timeline?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I think
This one's a prequel / sequel to Red Dead Redemption.
So wait, it plays before and then after?
10 years before. And then I'm
Then
pretty sure the end of the game is a conclusion wrap up of the first one.
Oh, that'd be pretty sweet. I like that. I kind of want to play it now because
because
I like that
it's gonna,
story.
it's gonna take you a while.
I'm definitely gonna play it, but yeah, it's just finding the time.
Because
Like sometimes I wish I was sick for a period of time just so I can sit down and play the game. I know it's like awful to say.
Just get
God,
pneumonia real
God
quick.
forbid, yeah. But like if I was laid up, dude, I'd catch up on games. That's what I would do. But
Bro,
what were you
that's-
saying? My bad.
Here you go.
So I kind of want to play it now, but
yeah, I kind of want to play it now. But like, am I allowed to say like how Redemption went? Like the first one, is that gonna fuck?
They give you a wrap up. I mean,
Synopsis?
yeah, they kind of tell you what's
recap.
going on.
Well,
A
I'm just saying,
recap.
like the main character dies at the end of the first Redemption, and then his
it's
son.
yeah.
Yeah, so like I can only imagine like if it's 10 years prior, and then
The gang that he left in the first game, you're in that gang.
oh,
Right.
so you're still the same character as the
No,
first
you're
one.
not the
Not
game
John
character.
Marston.
You're
You're not
someone.
John
You're
Marston.
Arthur. I forget his name. Arthur something.
Arthur not important.
No, but he's kind of a badass,
Is
and
he? More than
more than John. Yeah,
Yeah.
because John in this one is kind of like
this is before he's like tough. This is like
no,
learning the
he's still
ropes.
tough, but he's an idiot. Like he just does dumb things that puts himself or others in trouble.
But was he like that in the first game?
No, that's why it's 10 years before. Because
There's got to be something.
you
I
see him
know
grow into the
something.
man
I was
that he
gonna say
is.
something has to happen.
Because
in
you got
that
to
game
remember
that
in the first
changes
game he quits and runs away from the group.
Right.
And at the end of the game, the guy, the gang leader, tries to kill him, and you end up killing him. And then when you leave the house, all of them are lined up and they fire off on you. So we get to see how the events of this one led into the first game.
That game was so good.
It was.
And Final Fantasy wasn't the only Square game you played. It was
Arthur Morgan.
Arthur Morgan, Near Automata.
You ever play that?
So I have a wish list of games that I want, and that's at the top of the wish
Play
list.
that game.
Yeah, it's weird that someone like you would like that because that's a very anime aesthetic.
Now
Like,
tell him how we found that game, if you remember.
I think I remember a little bit. I just remember like we played the
Demo.
and it was the first boss. And I think Sheldon was like, "Yo, check it out." I was like, "I bet I'll check it out." Dude, it hit me quick. I was like, "This game is awesome."
yeah, dude.
And you play it, you play in the perspective of this one character, and then the game ends. You play in the perspective of her sidekick.
Yeah.
Then the game ends, and then you play in the perspective of another whole different person that's like a villain. And I was like, "This game is crazy, dude." I was like, and I guess that's deemed as an JRPG.
Yeah,
it's
it
definitely
is.
an action JRPG.
It's
Most
just
of it
action
is, yeah.
JRPG.
It was really cool,
Dude, it was like I put that on like I just got into him probably in the last 2-3 years, and that's one of the better games I've ever played. And I was like, "This is great."
That game was received so well, and when I saw it first come up, I was like, "There's no way this is
So,
gonna
so
be."
check this out, too. This is his introduction to JRPG, right? So after that game, he beats it. He blew past me in it. Pause. And he was way ahead, and he beat it, and he was hassling me to beat it. So I finally got through it. I still didn't beat the last playthrough. So then Persona 5 comes out.
Ooh.
And I was waiting for that for years. So I'm playing it. And he's not into, like, the anime art.
I'm not
and stuff like that.
into turn-based either.
Yeah.
It cuts out a lot.
So
of
he
games
hated
for
it.
him.
He's like, dude, I'm not gonna play that game. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
play the game. I'm like, bro, please just give it an hour, try it out. The music in the game is phenomenal. All the stuff, dude. He gets it. I don't think I talked to him for like a day or two. Like I see him again. He's like, bro, this game's amazing. I
It's
was
crazy,
like, dude,
right?
Hard though.
What console it's on?
PS4.
PlayStation 4.
PlayStation, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Very
exclusive.
hard though.
Very hard.
Very.
How long does it take to beat that game? Dude, it's
180.
It's hours, bro.
180?
You play it for 5 hours, you didn't even touch anything.
Remember I was telling you about progress? So the game is also, it's like a dungeon crawler, but during the day it's like a social sim. So your guy has to go to school, you got to keep up with your friends, you got to do all this stuff. So it's it's like a different distraction where you're making progress. And then it tells you, yeah, you got 10 days to beat the next boss. So in those 10 days, you can do whatever you want, and you can get smacked by the boss, or you can train, you can do all this stuff. So it's like a different RPG.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely dope.
That's one of the ones that, like, I'm trying to get over my initial dread of, like, super commitments for a game to play. You know what I'm saying?
180 hours is a lot.
Yeah, because nowadays, dude, like, the last huge commitment I did was Dragon Quest VIII, and it was totally worth it. But, like, if it wasn't worth it, man, I can't do it.
That's why I'm having a hard time with Octopath.
That game is huge, man. That game
having
is
a hard
really,
time.
really big. There's 2 games I want to play on Switch. The World Ends With You, which I've never got the chance to try.
You didn't have that on
want to.
DS?
No, they just made the remix for the Switch, and then Undertale. That's what I'm trying to
You
do.
like Undertale. If you liked the Cup game, Cuphead.
Cuphead?
If you like that, even though they're way
you beat
different.
Cuphead?
100%.
Really?
Yeah, I want to go back and do it on the harder difficulty.
What?
That game is great.
Bro, I need someone to play with, but the thing is, I don't have an Xbox, so like I can't.
What are you
play
playing
it.
on?
Oh, they don't have it for PS4?
Did you play it on
Never-
Xbox
never
when you
for
played?
PC.
You played on PC?
I played it on PC,
Me
both.
too.
But
Where's your PC?
I don't have it anymore,
gone?
man. That's the thing. Yeah, I had a Windows XPS that like I don't use now. I have a Mac, and I know it's not available for
It's
Mac.
probably not. Yeah, Mac's a tricky iOS.
Yeah, it
I mean,
sucks.
we could get a little LAN going.
Nah, man, that game was totally cool, and that game really took.
There's
over.
other games like that. That was the first game I've ever played like
Contra, bro. Contra 3.
Yeah.
Pick that joint up.
What about
What
what's
is
the
that?
other one? The Dude Nukem, right? The original.
that. That's old though. Like, what am I picking it up on?
No. You want to.
I'm on eBay
what's the bro one? There was a bro game where there were shooters running. They had machine
That's
guns. on
Contra.
That's Contra.
That's
Okay,
Contra.
okay.
Was that on Sega Genesis?
Yeah.
That's
So the
on-
up,
like the-
down, down, left, right,
Yeah,
BA.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
That's
it.
That's Super Nintendo.
It's on the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cartridge style.
Cartridge.
Bro, I was
remember
playing
that game. And you're like buff
I was-
dudes running with machine guns.
I was playing Aladdin and Sonic probably
that Aladdin game was classic.
2 months ago. Had to whip out the alcohol swabs on the thing.
Oh man.
My favorite level in that Aladdin game was when you're in the like where they found the lamp and you have to escape on carpet.
Yeah.
How about the snake boss, dude?
Those games are so short.
Oh
though.
yeah, that was hard.
crazy.
Games back
They're
then are
fun,
so
dude.
short.
I had to use
So
cheat
short.
codes to get to that part. I could never get past that part.
That game was hard. Nah, man, but they really were short back then because you had to think about how much
Data.
You couldn't save, right?
was on that little.
You had to get it done in one go.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
couldn't save.
You couldn't, right?
You couldn't
No,
save.
Yeah.
definitely
You know
not.
how long my
most
PlayStation
of-
1 was left on?
For
'Cause I
Sonic,
couldn't get a
for
save.
Sonic 3, you could. Sonic 3, you could.
Yeah,
you could
that was
save with
new
that.
at that point.
Yeah, that was a newer one, man. That was my favorite Sonic out of all of them, dude. Sonic 3 and then Sonic CD. Those are like the bangers.
You can buy a lot of Sonics on Steam on the computer.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. And those games went totally downhill.
I liked Sonic and Knuckles just because I liked playing as Knuckles more.
Yeah,
Knuckles,
man.
I was a Tails man.
Yeah, you need to fly, man.
I love Tails.
To
yeah.
find the special stages,
Yeah,
bro. You need to fly.
like-
Nah, but Sonic 3 was the one game on Sega Genesis that actually you could like. I'm not sure if you remember. You could
Connect to Sonic and Knuckles, and then you
Bro,
could play as
and then you
Knuckles
could
in
play
as
Sonic
that.
3.
Sonic 3.
I remember
Did you
that.
play as Tails in Sonic and Knuckles?
I remember that, dude.
I don't think so.
Who was the bad Sonic?
Metal,
Sonic?
yeah.
No, Shadow,
Little
wasn't it?
Shadow.
It was
But
one
that
of
was in
them.
Sonic Adventure 2
I
Battle.
remember getting up in
Metal
one of them,
Sonic
it
was on
like-
Sonic CD. We first appeared, I
Sonic
think.
CD was Metal Sonic.
But then he was in
great.
the Sonic anime movie.
Yeah. That's a classic right there.
Have you ever seen that? Or
Mhm.
you're not in the anime
Nah.
stuff,
No,
right?
no, no. But I think you're talking about Shadow, and the game that you're talking about, is Sonic Adventure 2. For the
That is?
Dreamcast.
What was that
Yeah,
on?
with
That was,
Chow
for, that was
Gardens.
for GameCube and Dreamcast. That was
Never
one of the
had
Chow
either,
Gardens.
though.
Oh,
Ah.
So how do I know, you know?
really?
You're just
I remember
House.
Dreamcast, though.
Friend's house.
You remember Dreamcast?
Yeah.
My Dreamcast is down here somewhere.
Do you ever play Jet Set Radio Future?
Yes, I have.
I
man.
love that
That
game.
game is wild,
It's a
bro.
classic.
That game is
So
wild.
you hold on to the old systems.
Oh, dude, what am I gonna do with it?
I feel so bad that I never did.
What did you do?
I mean, I guess I tossed them.
Oh,
I don't remember, really.
No.
Yeah, mine are scrap.
Because there's a thing. I was looking at SOCOM 2, and there's a thing where you download a software on your computer, and it reroutes the IP, and it puts, like, people in a LAN. So you could play, like, there's, like, 40 people on any given night playing SOCOM 2 because they don't have the servers up anymore. So I want to
wow.
buy a PlayStation 2 and get up in that, because...
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah, you're going to get your 500 spot back.
So that, it was just done independently. Like
yeah,
the game
so
developer
somebody
didn't do
went
it?
about it and was like, yo, we're about to play SOCOM. We don't care that they just axed the whole server.
Didn't someone do that with World of Warcraft? They brought back a previous
Halo.
server.
Yeah,
Someone did
they
that
do
with
that a
Halo,
lot.
too.
Wait, is World of Warcraft not a thing anymore?
No, it is.
But there was a previous server that was very popular with the community that Blizzard actually got
Could have
rid
been
of.
vanilla.
Yeah.
Because Blizzard's coming out with a vanilla server because everybody could. So vanilla would be. So what they started, it was 1 to 60, and then it went 1 to 70, and then now it's 1 to 20, and vanilla was the one where people really lost their lives. Like,
Oh, okay.
like I used to watch YouTube videos where dudes would be like, "Yo, I'm deleting all of my 70s and 60s," which took so long back then because their wife left them. Like some
Shit.
crazy stuff, and it's just like now it's easy. You could pay $60, and then they level you up to 10 levels before to be like, oh, let's get casuals to play because
Yeah.
it's such a crazy game. So people make like servers like vanilla or like Wrath of the Lich King, which are like different
Right.
expansion packs. So now World of Warcraft took it in their hands. They're like, yo, we're about to do 1 to 60 again, and they just displayed it at, I think, BlizzCon. And that's like a thing, like users would make their own server, and it's
Yeah.
just like crazy. It's like, yo, like y'all really got that in you, like
Exactly, man.
to make this.
That's
I
how
was
much.
gonna say, like,
There's
did
some
they know
smart
how to make the
people, man.
server before,
Smart
or
people
they
for
just
sure.
did all their research because they wanted to make
I would
this
used to
work?
look at Reddit posts, and it would be like crowdfund me's, and they would just be like, yo, we need to make this happen,
Right.
And it would happen just for user base, and I was like, and if you're not a company listening to this,
Yeah.
like, if you see what's going on, there should be somebody on your team looking at this. Bring that back.
Exactly.
Because
No.
it probably cost them nothing.
I remember that there was a whole bunch of YouTubers that made videos about it. Like JonTron made a whole video about how like he missed that server, and there was a whole bunch of people that showed up.
It's very nostalgic.
It is, man, for a lot of people. And
Yeah.
I'm glad they listened.
And it's
But-
it's coming back soon.
Yeah, I think World of Warcraft's gonna make a comeback. Like I could see that being the new kind of not Fortnite level, but you're gonna see memes about it and stuff. It's gonna be reintroduced to the culture. I have a feeling it's gonna make a huge comeback.
Do you think Fortnite's on the down end?
I think so.
I mean, everyone's cashing in right now. I mean,
I think
the
so.
NFL just added
still-
skins.
My brother called me.
Channel.
My brother called me and he said that Red Dead now is having like a battle royale mode. That's kind of like Fortnite.
Is that really coming?
Oh, I'm definitely
Wow.
not playing the game anymore.
I'm so over Battle Royale.
No, but to my point, and we'll get back to that.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
to my
yeah.
point, I think the reason that Fortnite's on the downfall is because everybody's catching on to the battle royale thing. So now there's a whole bunch of battle royales out there.
I have a couple points on that. It's like I want Fortnite to die just because they're on.
You hate it.
They're adding the weirdest stuff, but they have a thing where they were giving $100 million back to the community, and I think they've only spent like 85 to 90 million. No, they only spent 15 to 10
When
million.
you say community, you mean like the players, like the consumers?
Players, yeah.
Wow.
So you could go to. Do you know what like PAX is? Like
Yeah, I
PAX
know
East
PAX.
and PAX
PAX
West.
West.
So you could go to, or like TwitchCon, you can go to them, make it to the finals. This kid was 17 years old, made $250,000 playing Fortnite. But
Jesus.
and the thing
When
is,
he
they
won,
made
he was like,
Time to retire.
dude, they made so much money that I think they still have like 80 million left to give. So I don't think people are going to stray away from Fortnite just yet
No,
because they've
definitely not.
because they know what they're like. Oh, let's give away 80 mil. We gave away 20. Let's give away 80. And I think they're going to implement these like online things, so you don't even have to leave your house and you can win like a
you know
couple
what I think they're doing?
a couple grand.
I think they're going the Overwatch route. They're going to build a league.
That's hard. Because Overwatch,
Dude, Overwatch's numbers are insane.
yeah, but Overwatch is also backed by like
Blizzard.
and Blizzard, but it's also like Comcast owns the Fusion,
Mm-hmm.
like the Texas like Astros or something like.
Yeah.
So one of the sports teams owns like the Texas team.
Yeah.
And it's just like they have all these funds,
And so
So they really are like athletes. They're professionally paid and they're professionally
which is
backed.
hard for people to swallow.
yeah.
Yeah, it
They're
is.
called E athletes.
Esports.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
if you can
something like
watch
that.
gambling on ESPN, what's the difference? You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? You
Well,
can watch-
Nothing.
you
It's
can
just
watch
that
car games on
video games
ESPN.
are still relatively new, especially at this
Right.
level.
It's not that. It's
You know,
just
they're not-
there's
they haven't
still
been-
a stigma about video games and stuff that if you play that you're a loser.
Which is
blah, blah,
weird
blah.
because when we were in high school, back like 2009, 2012, like I was big on video games. I'm sure everyone here was.
Whole life.
And
But
it was like,
anyone who was an adult at that point, it was weird to like.
and it's
video
like
games,
it's like
you know?
Gatekeepers.
like even kids were like, "You're a nerd, kid. Like, what are you doing?" And it's like I wasn't.
Beat it, buddy.
I don't think I gave off that vibe in high school, but I still was like, "Yo, you like video games are like that's it." And
Yeah.
Fortnite made it like socially acceptable,
yeah.
because it made it so mainstream that
Oh, yeah.
everyone wasn't ashamed.
Oh,
I think that's one of the reasons why I hate Fortnite because I'm like, why Fortnite? Why was that the game?
Why was it? There were so
Why
many.
is
There
that
was
the game?
Halos. There was Call
Call of
Duties.
Duty's gear,
Yeah.
like all
Halo-
these games.
Halo's the
'Cause
first multiplayer game.
It's
I
always
made.
going to be a multiplayer
Halo
game
2.
that
Yeah.
mainstreams it. Sadly, because single players just can't do it.
Well, it's
I don't think.
you
I don't know.
you summarized it perfectly. You said it's time for me to be better than someone.
Yeah.
That's
You
the,
add that little
that is the
competitive
juice.
niche.
That's the juice right
That's the
there.
juice.
When
That
when you slam someone's face in the dirt for the first time,
A real person.
feels good.
You get to the lobby.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't do it no more because nobody goes in lobbies. But
Right.
I was playing. I was at my girl's house, and her friend's boy came through with a Xbox, and Xbox has backwards compatibility. And I was like, "Yo, you got Modern Warfare 2? Let's rock!" Like that was
Right.
my game. Like I used to play that with my boys, like
Yeah.
game battle style.
How
Okay, and
how trash are you at it now? Or you still
terrible.
got
I'm
it?
terrible. I'm absolute garbage. But I was in the lobbies talking heavy,
Yeah.
and like kids were still in the lobbies, like, "Yeah, okay, kid."
That
Like,
warms
and
me up.
And
That
I was like,
warms
"This
me
is
up.
awesome," because like I just like you murked me, I murked you,
Yeah.
and you're sitting here saying like, "Kid, get off the game.
Yeah.
You're trash."
Yeah.
And it's just like I think that's what's always going to mainstream the
Party
game.
chat killed online
Party
games,
chat killed
man.
online gaming because I
Hate
remember
it.
True.
I remember in
Yeah.
360, I think you would have to if you played Search and Destroy on like Call of Duty.
You had to get
It
in the
would
lobby.
kick you out of
Yup.
party chat.
It
put you in
wasn't
game chat.
like that at first though. I used to cheat doing that. Everyone used to.
You got
do it.
out of it?
Well,
Yeah.
no. Well, they it wasn't the original. They didn't implement that originally. It was when that update happened for Xbox 360 that they could finally do that with games. But like before that happened, man, dude, everyone
It should
Search and Destroy
have
would
never
just-
happened.
We would just
Bro, it
not
killed games,
We
man.
would just not be in the regular chat and we would just
Dude,
go in private
There
chat.
was nothing better than playing at like 1 a.m. at night on the weekends, and the British kids are online,
Yeah.
bro. just chatting shit with British
Wankers.
kids,
I didn't know what a wanker was
Bro,
back then.
I
They
love
kept
that
calling me.
dude. Their lingo and stuff. First time you ever hear it when you're like that young, and you're talking shit. You're like, yeah, you got some dusted ass teeth, like just dumb shit. Like
You come out with anything.
Anything you pull it out.
That's why it's great. Like, dude, it was 2 a.m. Everyone was sleeping in the crib. I was sitting back with the headset on, like, yo. This kid's name was like Apex, which is like a FaZe Clan member.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, we get it. You love Apex, like, get a grip, kid. And like he unplugged his mic because he didn't want to hear it no more. And I was just like, dude, this is awesome. Like, like, you know what I'm saying? I might be 25, like, but I remember being 16,
Right.
Like being like, yo,
just
get
roasting
out of here.
that was when the
man.
tongue was sharp, dude. You got to be quick on there.
But that's when Fortnite. That's why Fortnite did it. Biggest. I don't know how it became the biggest game in the world, but that made gaming normalized.
free.
Like,
Yeah, no.
It was free.
the kid who would like bust your chops because you played video games was the same kid like, oh, this game's great.
Right.
And it's just like, it kind of annoyed me
At this point in time,
Because you were so devoted for so long, right?
because I'm this kid like who's just like trying to. I'm just trying to play video games, you know. Like I ain't trying to like.
yeah.
I wasn't huge on confrontation in high school, and like you're trying to bust my shit.
Right, for playing games.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
And it was just like, but if like now he's probably like, yo, Fortnite's popping.
Well, it's the same thing with superhero movies, right? It's just like, oh, bro, you read comic books, like that's real cool, like you know what I'm saying? And then like,
I guess
superhero
who's
movies
first in
come out.
line for Avengers?
Right. It's the same thing, man. It's just like,
Which is so weird.
and Sheldon, you said the term gatekeeping, which I think is interesting. I try not to do that. You know what I'm saying? I let everyone enjoy what they enjoy, but I just think it is interesting, like you say, man, when like something that was nerdy now becomes mainstream, how everybody accepts it, and it just shows, man, sheeple, bro.
It took that.
sheeple, dude.
It took the masses for you to be like, that was cool.
the masses.
There's three
exactly.
things that were considered like backpacking
Was the anime
back
one?
then.
Yeah, I
Anime,
think it's gonna
video
be
games,
one.
rap music. There's
Anime's
three
a thing
I
things.
would say rap music.
No.
Rap music was hated. It was
What on
put
rap?
aside.
Yeah.
I know. I'd say EDM. Like if I listened to like techno in sixth grade, and people
But
were
even
like, oh,
in the
that's
early
cute.
2000s,
EDM.
I should just be like, just wait, dog. You're
No,
gonna be
'cause
at a
EDM
festival with your shirt off, man.
Because here's the thing, because EDM was always big in the 80s.
Okay.
It phased out in the 90s.
Yeah, but who? I mean, like they even make fun of it on
Dude,
Fresh
if you
Prince.
but if you went to the clubs, it was either techno or house.
What of
and
rap,
house
though?
I'm saying like rap music has a huge
But, like,
nerd culture where it's like people called backpackers. So I think we would somewhat consider ourselves backpackers, that we have a vast knowledge of hip hop music.
Yeah.
And we listen to stuff that's not technically mainstream.
Oh, I thought you meant backpackers and like you're like piggybacking on.
I would say like
something. So backpackers like a forefronter, like
What a
original?
backpacker is someone that like lives from the boom bap era,
which is 90s.
which is that
Right.
90s sound, that New York sound, and stuff like that. And it wasn't cool at the time. What was cool at the time was like Nelly, Ja Rule, 50 Cent, stuff like that.
I agree. I see what you're saying now.
You see what I'm saying? They were very,
I see what you're saying.
very 4-count songs.
Yeah. If you listen to like Nas in high school, people were like, "Yo, like, what is this, dude?"
But Jay-Z flipped it because he was the backpacker that went pop.
Right. Exactly.
Same thing with Biggie, whereas Tupac and Nas were very similar.
Right. Okay, I see you.
I can
So
see
there was
that.
three things
Well,
a
what do you
decade
mean
ago
by-
that wasn't cool.
What do you
was
mean
rap,
by, like-
video games and anime?
Oh, well, I guess what did you mean by like backpacker anime? I can understand the music portion. Can you give examples?
So
of
like video games back when we were in high school, he was like, dude, you like anime? Blah, 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 whatever. Like cartoon, you still watch cartoons, you're 18, whatever. Doesn't even matter. And like rap music, at that time, pop music was like the thing. And then Drake came out and it kind of changed like,
it's like sing rapping?
yeah, but he kind of changed like
But like Kanye started that.
the image of rap music a little bit and made it more digestible. Whereas at the time, it was still a lot of heavy underground shit that was going on. Even Meek Mill, I can accredit that to him because he had that underground sound, but it went pop because there was no one that sounded like him. With Flamers 2, no one sounded like him. Flamers 3, Flamers 1, no one. Period. Point blank. But a decade later, I don't know what happened. And you have celebrities doing, my inspiration for this outfit is Akira Toriyama or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
You don't buy it.
And the same thing with video games. Like Fortnite was free. Nowadays, everyone has a console, but not everyone plays games. But if a game's free and it's accessible, everyone will play it.
Everyone will play it.
And
Freemium is what they
On
call
everything
it.
too. Switch.
everything. They were smart for
I
doing
was
that.
surprised. I was
on
going through Switch
mobile.
and it was on there.
And then they just had that deal with. And it's just like I was talking to my boy the other day. I was like, how much do you think the NFL paid, or they paid the NFL, whatever way it would go, to get every NFL jersey as a Fortnite skin?
Yeah.
Number
Stupid
1 to
money.
99.
That's the thing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
real
yeah.
thing.
I didn't even know that
Any
was a
team.
thing.
They're
Any
sneaky
team.
though. You know why?
Like,
You can't get a player's name on it
no, you can't put
because
names. You can put numbers.
they can't put names because that means they would have to individually pay every single
players.
player.
But I was like, how much did you really dish out to get?
I think a
this?
bill or at least close to that.
That's
But they
a
make
lot of
so much money. They were accredited for making like a couple million in a week
100 millions.
or a weekend.
Mhm.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, if you would go back to 1997 and tell video game developers that, hey, in 2018, there's going to be a development team that makes a game that's free to play, nobody buys it, and it's going to make millions of dollars, they'd laugh at you. Like,
They would say it would never work.
Of
It would
course
never
not.
work.
There
That's what they're saying.
was that episode of South Park for microtransactions.
Yeah, the freemium gaming one.
That's a crazy concept.
Yeah, no, it is.
I
Which
hate
people
it.
actually do it.
It's
though.
ruining
Which-
video games.
Which is weird because like everyone's like, oh, Call of Duty 60. Who would outright pay 60 when you when I played Fortnite, my justification was I'll spend 70 to 80 bucks on this game because that's what I would spend on a real
A
game.
typical game, yeah.
And that's what people probably spend more than me.
Right.
But that $60 price tag is a hard one to swallow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'm mad COD they took a little of the market share away from them, but you should have put your game to $40 cuz they're probably going to implement loot boxes or whatever they're going to do.
Yeah.
And Fortnite has the recipe. It's like the League of Legends recipe.
Mm-hmm.
You buy characters. They're free, but you're probably going to buy them.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
can see that.
You could put in 100 hours or you can just give $20.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, exactly.
But that's also at the same time what's
That's why it's hard to
ruining
beat.
video games is loot boxes. You have countries suing companies.
It's mainly European countries.
Yeah, because it's gambling. It
Yeah.
is. It is.
It's
That's
essentially
what happened with
gambling.
Battlefront 2 is there was so much backlash because they realized they were gonna use loot boxes.
What they were doing was pay to win.
Well, yeah,
So
they're
there's difference-
terrible.
Yeah.
I
So
hate
they're like,
That was a
you don't feel
massive
you don't.
failure.
Yeah,
That was
hate
embarrassing.
they're like, you don't feel like grinding out. You don't feel like playing the game. Well, you
You
can
could buy that
pay
game for like
$30
$10 now.
and you can
Yeah.
get these enhancements
game's
in the
dead.
game that makes you better than other people. And
Which
it's
is-
like, dude, I pay 60.
It's
You
a
pay
dumb
90.
concept.
Yeah,
It's a terrible concept. You should never be able to pay more than me.
to
And
get
that's
a
one of
higher
the things
skill.
about FIFA that drives me crazy.
Oh, they do that too.
Do you know what it is?
Bad in FIFA.
You
It's
know what
bad.
it is, in my opinion? EA Games, man.
It is.
I've heard too much.
Very
I've-
terrible.
EA,
Never
man.
sell your company or game rights to EA.
I've heard
Well, if you
too
sell
many
your
bad
rights
things.
to EA, I feel like that's their last resort. Like you're going under. You don't have a choice.
Dude, that's some people's first resort because that check,
It's crazy.
their reach is out.
But
is
everyone I've ever
outrageous.
talked to was like, I guess the Star Wars before the EA generation,
was unreal.
the BioWare ones,
Yep.
crazy good.
The original Battlefronts are a classic.
And what happened?
classics.
What happened to 1 and 2?
Terrible.
Dirt.
They might not be able to release. Disney's
Well,
pulling out.
This
dude. They
new
might pull
Battlefield,
out.
man, it got all super social justice warrior. Did you guys see that? And you know how you can type up text and stuff, and Battlefield, you could type up text in the.
Are we talking
the chat
Battlefront or
feature.
Battlefield?
Battlefield. Battlefield
Okay.
was EA, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's EA.
Battlefield's
so,
EA.
Yeah. So that game was the new one. Has been
So
a
what
major failure.
what happened?
So you can type up stuff in the chat when you're observing things, but you know how they won't let you type curse words and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You can't type white man. It won't let you do it.
I saw
Did
that.
you see that?
I did see
So
that.
funny.
You
Dude.
can type everything
Why
else,
funny?
but you can't type white man.
Why?
Because they're all social
I don't
justice
know.
warrior with this game. You know what I'm saying?
You see, the battle royale got pushed back to
For
2019.
Battlefield?
They're not releasing.
I think Battle Royale should die.
I think
Done.
I think it's so.
Let it
bad.
let it roll.
just the genre of play.
I just think you're never gonna top Fortnite ever.
Let it go.
You're wrong, dude.
Who do you think you get there?
Call of Duty
It's
still hasn't
gonna
topped it,
happen.
Call of Duty had a better version of PUBG,
and they not even
which
close.
commend you. But Battlefield ain't about to do it either.
No.
I think
Fortnite's crazy with it, bro. They're taking the League of Legends approach. You don't update the map. You don't make a new map. You add shit into the map.
Yeah.
Which is oh man, I log on after 2 months. And I'm like, yo, what's going on in this?
No, that's my thing. It completely lost me. It seemed to spiral out of control. Like what you said with the Thanos thing, and then there's those gravity blocks,
Yeah.
and then there's the
Now
moon
it's
things that make you jump.
everything, bro. There's balloons.
Yeah.
There's
The shopping cart.
there's
all that.
so much stuff going on in
Yeah.
this game, and that's what League of Legends does. They update the map, and League of Legends is one of the top played games in the world.
That's free, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
free to play. You
Ma-
just gotta you either grind
Mm-hmm.
or you pay for characters.
I'm seeing commercials on TV for it. You see those when you're watching football, those anime trailers
Yep.
of League of Legends. I'm like, what in the world? I never thought that would have
It's a
happened.
huge game in
So
Asia.
Video
and-
games are the biggest market in the world right now.
and it's
After 30 years it finally happened.
It's crazy because America's not the biggest consumer either.
It's
League of Legends is
I think
huge,
China.
Asia.
just not here.
China and South
Definitely
Korea.
China. And yeah.
It's like
yeah.
League of Legends, Dota 2.
Dota.
You know what I'm saying? Like
It's the ones you wouldn't expect, like the games that you like.
because
I
you
don't
think
know what
America. I mean, you live in America and you think we're the hub.
Yeah.
We're not the
Yeah,
hub.
Nah, we're not the hub.
Not for games, dude.
Oh, bro, we're not nothing.
Think about the games we play, straight from Japan.
Yeah, I'd say the hub is definitely Asia.
That's what I'm saying, and that's where the League of Legends and Dota 2s come in.
You could still get a scholarship.
Well, you know
for
what?
League
Because
here,
you can also play those games on any computer.
I have a problem with the that scholarship. Like you can go to college for,
though. You can go to college for League. It's official now.
but my problem is, it's only like a league. It's not like it's League and Overwatch at this point.
Fortnite,
It's
too.
not any. Is Fortnite
yeah,
in there?
Fortnite now.
But Fortnite's not a team game. It came out that people thought it was going to be 4v4s, and it came out that it was like not heavily there's no competition. It's all community-based games. But like it makes me kind of annoyed that it's League of Legends and Overwatch that are main esports campus games at colleges, because it's like there's so Call of Duty,
did you see what,
Halos, Gears of
think,
Wars.
I think they should do Tekken. I think you should get a scholarship for Tekken.
So you know what's hard?
That'd be sick.
That'd be interesting.
Or Street Fighter.
But-
They're so hard too.
That'd
Yeah.
be
When
amazing.
you're filthy at those games, you're filthy at
Yeah,
those games.
I knew that video games were massive because Overwatch announced they added the roster, so instead of 16 teams now, I think it's close to 24. And starting in 2020, every team, because right now they all play in California, so they all have their houses and they drive to the venue to play.
Goodness, man.
Starting in 2020, every team, wherever city they're from, will have a stadium built in that city for the games.
That's why people sleep, because they don't realize
Yeah.
that
And
their
guess where
favorite
Overwatch might be
sports
playing.
franchise and
Yeah.
their favorite investors are investing in esports.
Yeah.
And the Fusion
crazy.
the Fusion are either going to have a stadium built for themselves or playing the Leocore Center or Wells Fargo.
So, guys, what's the future going to look like? Are there not going to be any more athletes?
Like,
No,
Well, they're all
sports
gonna
will
become
never
virtual,
die.
right?
Yeah. Is
Nah.
it just all going to be esports?
Here's the thing. I
Like,
don't
is it
think,
going to be people playing Madden in a stadium?
right, I'll tell you this. In 30 years, okay, I'll say 50 years, right? I don't think the NFL will exist anymore.
whoa.
50 years?
Deep,
50 years.
bro.
You know why? You know why I don't think it will
Why?
exist?
Because of the whole concussion thing?
Just people are deteriorating at a faster rate now than ever for
Do
some
you have
reason.
like stats on like viewership though?
I don't have stats like off the top of my head, but
Or, like, that you've
I don't
read?
think. Yeah, I've read some things that the numbers are down because the games are longer now. Just like baseball, the numbers are down because the games are longer and there's a lot of advertisements.
Mm-hmm.
So many advertisements.
People are pissed about it.
Yeah,
And there's
sports
that
like
whole controversy.
sports
Yeah,
like
it's been on for,
soccer,
what, 2 years now?
sports like soccer, basketball, cricket. I feel like they'll face the test of time because soccer's been around for hundreds of years. I think.
Soccer's like in almost every country.
Yeah,
It's in
anything
every
with
country.
International appeal will survive.
I think basketball will survive because it also has a massive
Basketball,
international
well,
appeal.
That's going to continue to grow.
Yeah.
I mean, they're expanding their market in China right
Yeah.
now, and they just,
And tennis, like sports like that, I think they'll be around. They'll get revamped. You know, tennis will probably look like Pong or whatever that game's called at one point.
That's like the weird thing to me, though. You talk about football. What are we don't know the long-lasting effects of technology
We don't.
to human
You
beings.
can project
don't.
it, though.
I mean,
My,
we're just
my phone said that I spent 7 hours on my phone.
But what are the effects of you having your phone near you for 7 hours?
I don't know, but what I was getting at is that back in the day, like, who would spend 7 hours on one thing during the week that they carried with them always? I think that the data shows that we're becoming more engrossed in technology, and that's going to make us less interested in athletics over time. So what you're saying is accurate. There's not going to be a lot of people going to athletics, therefore there's going to be less athletes. Therefore, certain sports are going to die out.
Yeah.
I think the only ones that are going to survive in like 50 to 100 years is combat, fighting. That's going to be like the only thing. I'm telling you.
I mean,
People
it'll
love
evolve.
watching
People
It'll
love
definitely evolve and change. I mean, they used to have gladiators. We don't necessarily do
Yeah,
that
People
anymore,
love that.
Yeah.
You know,
But one of the reasons that I think the NFL will die is because, like, ask people who are young or even have kids, and the kids are young. It's like, oh, you're gonna let him play sports? They'll probably say, yeah, he'll play everything but football.
yeah, you hear that.
Like
a lot now.
even professional athletes.
So what is it that you want to tell me about this, and what is it called?
I need to look it up because I'm
What
not.
is it?
LaCroix.
LaCroix.
Is that what it's called?
or Lacroix. I
LaCroix.
actually
I
don't
think
know.
it's LaCroix.
It's
Who
definitely
knows?
LaCroix. The X is
It's
silent.
French.
Yeah, French. No, it's American, but just
It's
French
from
name.
Pepsi.
Like Target.
I want to see what it
Or
was.
What does it taste
Tajay.
Macadonaldos.
Water includes cockroach insecticide
That's
ingredient.
what it was. Yeah.
Listen, bro, I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
I mean, yeah, we're all
I mean,
going.
does it add the flavor?
We're all
Where,
going.
That's
okay,
the
what's your
important
source
question.
on that?
Me?
Yeah.
No, that was an actual article.
USA Today?
Yeah, it's an actual article that came out.
It has cockroach pesticide.
Today.com?
Hold on.
Business Wire?
Not the onion.
Why is there cockroach
fake news.
pesticide in it?
Should I read it real quick?
Yeah, just read it for me real quick.
Alright. Let's see what USA's got.
Come forth to the mic, Kristopher.
Yes, what's Ashley May got to say? Are we talking in the jar right now?
Yeah.
We're on the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going.
Yo, what's up? All right. What is it? Was it LaCroix?
LaCroix.
Whatever you want to
LaCroix.
call it. We don't actually.
LaCroix. It's a Pepsi American sparkling water. So they got a lawsuit against them that it alleges they have all natural, but it includes cockroach, was it insecticides, as well as other artificial ingredients.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you a few things wrong with that.
Yeah, let me hear it.
First off, why specifically cockroach insecticide? That's like me saying, yeah, we have spider insecticide in Coca-Cola. Insecticide is insecticide. It works on insects. Why would you say cockroach? You're trying to elicit a response from me because cockroach is a gross animal.
They are
That's
nasty.
number one.
They are nasty.
Number two, why would an insecticide be in what is basically a soda? Riddle me that, Batman. Is this something that's gonna poison us? Is it a plant?
Listen,
a
man,
plant to
I
poison?
killed a whole 6-pack for 2 weeks
Well,
straight at work.
They say that this chemical can cause kidney toxicity,
Toxicity.
tumors.
Oof.
They can
Oh, snap.
So,
yeah.
what do you think now?
I'm not down with it, man. I mean, mine is totally finished.
It can't be that crazy if it's still on the shelves though.
Right.
You think they're
Well,
just gonna?
they
they're just-
definitely had to withdraw whatever.
Bro, we're Americans.
Listen,
we
you
eat,
can buy
drink, whatever
cigarettes,
we want.
right?
But wait, was that a manufacturing error, or was that just
Can
something
buy
they always put
cigarettes.
in?
I just think it was like
whatever.
like they
call
just like
it.
disregarded ethics at that
Okay.
point.
Dude,
because they should at least recall.
What
all of
doesn't
the
kill
ones
you
that
makes
have
you
that, right?
stronger.
unless it's soda. So you shouldn't drink anything carbonated. I don't like it because I'm vain, and I think when you drink a lot of sodium, it puffs your face up.
Mm-hmm.
But man, is it tough to stay away from soda sometimes. When you're having a cheeseburger, forget it, bro. You can't order a cheeseburger and be like, yeah, I'll have a water. Come on, dog.
I haven't drank soda in 2 years. 2 to
Yeah.
3 years.
I used to be addicted to soda.
I was
until
until I moved into my house.
Stop. Period.
I don't. I haven't when I like have alcohol. That's
Only a
about
mixed
it.
drink.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say.
I'm not like with my cheesesteak, a sweet tea.
Oh, I'm going water.
So-
I'm the sociopath.
Because I
I'll go
laugh
to
at
water.
everything you say.
You
bro.
pop up in a Stefano's cheesesteak, John, and
I
you're
ain't
like,
popping
yo,
up
let me
in-
get that sweet tea.
Here's the thing. I ain't
Gold
popping up
Peak?
into a Stefanos.
Gold Peak.
I'll get Gold Peak wherever.
What's a gold peak?
Is that from
Gold
a
Peak
Super
iced
Bad?
tea.
No,
Oh,
bro.
I'm thinking of the ones
I'm
that
a-
have like
I'm
the gold.
Yeah.
I'm
the
a-
flake.
Arnold. I'm a
Arnold Palmer?
or Arizona. By the
Oh,
way,
Palmer's
Arizona
good.
iced tea started selling clothes, and they're pretty dope.
And they also
They have a
in
clothing line?
Center City
It's really
charge
cool.
them for $1.09. It's kind of annoying.
That's
You
sugar.
said
it's a
Arnold
sugar
Palmer
tax.
has a clothing industry now.
Yeah, Arizona iced tea does it. It's really dope.
kinda
Isn't it crazy
sick.
how Arizona
it?
is based in New York?
That's a
Takes a
conspiracy.
sip.
There's a story behind that one.
Blew
that's-
my mind. I was like,
that's
how,
tea.
like my whole life, I'm like, Arizona? Yeah, cool.
Yeah, man. Well, it's
I
just
love
the
that
thing,
place.
like DC Comics, their headquarters in New York too. It's like, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? You just might as well name it New York
And,
Comics.
like Gotham's in Chicago.
What does DC stand for?
District of Columbia.
Does it?
Are we talking about for
The comics.
Comics.
Oh, the comics.
I'm
That
District
is
of Columbia Comics.
DC Comics. He's saying, "What's the DC and DC
Oh.
Comics?" stand for?
I
It's
don't
diverse
Dark
comics.
comics because
Diverse?
they're all
I
very
don't know.
sad
I
and
think
dark and
Dark
depressing.
Comics. Hey, we have
Depressing
I'll
comics.
Google that for you.
companies called Dark Comics.
I am interested in that.
There's Dark Horse Comics. I
'Cause-
don't know. I think it's just called DC.
Good company.
It's just like DC skating, DC skating apparel. Like, what does the DC and that stand for? Probably nothing.
I always
Dirty-
thought it
dirty
was
corporate.
Deer Deck Company,
Deer Deck.
like Rob Deerdeck.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But who knows?
Were you a skater? Were you into like skating?
Me, I was very terrible. I
I
landed my first kickflip in college, drunk in my house.
Detective Comics.
Detective Comics.
Makes sense.
Well, I mean, Batman. Yeah.
Because
for
it doesn't
sure.
make sense to have a big like conglomerate in like a Philadelphia or like a DC.
Mhm.
Because it is what it is at that point. Like
Mhm.
DC has no. I mean, Philly has like no like hot like video game companies. You got Rockstar
Hmm.
in New York. Like
Philly just. I mean.
So where's the place to be if you're a video game developer?
I think it's in Cali.
Silicon Valley
Glendale, California,
or Europe.
Yeah.
It's one of two places.
Yeah, man.
It's Europe or Silicon Valley.
It's not Philly.
Maryland, that's where you get Bethesda.
Maryland is Bethesda, and then EA is Florida.
Philly.
No, EA is Canadian. Electronic Arts is from Quebec.
I know Ubisoft is a lot in
That's
like
also
the
Quebec.
European, yeah.
That's Montreal. EA's from Montreal, Quebec.
What about Bungie?
Bungie is
I think it's in
American. That's in California.
That's interesting.
And then you have like Microsoft in Washington.
Yep.
Yeah. No, Philadelphia is super blue collar, man. There's not really a lot of.
There is a
Comcast the
company.
main job.
There is a company, a gaming company that's in Philadelphia. I forget who it is. Or
Small?
PA.
Probably super.
Nah, that's a
small.
big name.
That's not a
Can't
big
remember
name.
what it is. There's one in PA that's they have a couple
don't
of
believe
titles
it.
on their belt.
Look it up, please. But it's just like I remember looking at video game companies for like when I was like looking for like a job, and I was like, I'd rather probably get into this industry, which is not the easiest industry to get into,
Ooh,
like video games.
competitive.
And I couldn't find one huge Philly like
No.
developer or like just like gaming
No.
at all.
It'd be easier to get into gaming journalism.
Yeah.
Can't even talk, which is that's easier to get into, and you could probably do that in Philadelphia for like a magazine or something,
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot of news and publication here. But yeah, there's not like development and stuff like that. You're gonna look at more of like there's not even a lot of entertainment here in the city. Like that's why when the
I was looking at what would like Scuff, which would be controllers. They add the paddles in the back.
yeah.
Like a lot of places are like Georgia, like Atlanta, and then like California.
Right.
And then you got like the European.
Yeah.
And it's just like in my mind, I always thought Philly was like a centerpiece of like a place to be. Like and it's not.
I got
Not for
I got
video
some I
games,
got
though.
something
Even
nice
for
for
like
you.
UFC, dude, the last UFC was like one.
Wasn't there a fight at Parks Casino?
That was a couple years ago.
Really?
That was I remember that.
Was it a big fight?
But the
It was not it was like one of the
but the last UFC
like the
fight
free
with John
fights.
Jones in Philadelphia, I was in like 10th grade,
Oh,
and
really?
they've never came back.
there's not a big market, but now we're becoming a big
We
market.
don't have like PAXs or we don't have like any of that.
We have
No.
PAX Unplugged, which is so
board
stupid.
games.
We had
Tabletop games.
We have Wizard Comic Con, which is like a.
Well, that's cool. It's
kinda
Comic-Con.
cool
I want to
concept.
go to.
So check this
I
out.
want to go to
So
that.
according to the PA.gov,
What we
in
got?
2015, Fortune magazine named Pennsylvania as one of the top 10 most successful states for video game development,
That's
with
weird.
an industry that contributes $83 million to the state's economy.
But-
There are numerous ones, but what they are development companies. They don't publish the games, so
They're on the low.
there are certain
Yeah.
there's certain companies that they'll send to these companies to work on certain things in the game.
All right.
Lehigh, Drexel,
Okay.
Carnegie Mellon, Pittsburgh, and there's a company in Philadelphia, Skyless Game Studio.
Flashback time, real quick. When I was in college, Alex Tran actually one night took me to this thing. It was an apartment where a bunch of game development students had come together, and they were all showcasing their new games, like all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just inviting people to come in and play them. And it was really cool, man. Like people had like these 2D side scrollers that they made and like multiplayer like beat 'em up games. And it wasn't like, oh, like this is a student project. Like no, like these students had spent like their whole college career like working on these. And it was awesome, man. Like it was so cool. And they were called 8-bit barrels. That's what they were called. There was a Facebook group for them and everything. And I was part of that Facebook group. And it was all like game
OG.
developers in college, yeah. And it ended. The Facebook group got disbanded. But dude, they apparently that was like a thing that they did. Like I don't know, probably monthly or like bi-monthly in Philadelphia, where they'd all get together and they'd show like their hard work. So that's the only time I've ever seen any video game stuff in Philly. But it was student run. It was all independent. Like there wasn't any sort of like big conglomerate.
I can
or
only
anything like that.
imagine what it feels like for your game to come to like fruition.
Oh, bro, with anything.
Like
man.
you developed like I guess like a scaled game to a certain point.
Hello Studio, dude.
That's pretty crazy.
10 people. They were probably like, dude, this is our baby, and then it got shit on by the world.
By who? What was it?
No Man's Sky. 10-person studio.
Yeah, tell me about how you feel about that. I think this fix, IGN summed it up when they said the No Man's Sky fix is too little too late.
But here's the thing.
It's
though.
good now, right?
It's perfect. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Sheldon says it's a great game now,
Mhm.
but your crisis management was not in the first 24 hours or 48 hours for
It's
that point.
10
I don't care how many people you need. Crisis management is a well-known thing. You need to get in there, let them know we messed up. Like,
yeah, and
it was our fault. Yada yada yada. And that is what it is. Cuphead has a small developing company too.
But they didn't have anything
they
wrong with their
handwrite
game.
all their games. They draw them out. But it comes down to Cuphead didn't promise that you were going to get the craziest game of your life.
But which game's harder to make, Cuphead or No Man's Sky?
Yeah, to be fair.
I would assume it's probably No Man's Sky
Yeah.
without the knowledge of knowing how to make a game.
So with what
But
happened in their game,
They didn't have to promise.
They never did though. That's
Yes,
the thing.
he did.
He didn't.
Why did
promise
he delete
anything.
his Twitter?
He deleted his
Yeah,
Twitter
shut-
because
He got so much hate mail, I'm
He
sure.
got
He
so
got
much
ripped
Dude,
because he
was-
promised a great game.
Don't
promise
and
a great
here's the
game.
thing: it was a great game. It's just that what people thought it was going to be, he never said that.
Okay, before you bought the actual copy of the game,
Yeah.
Was the disclaimer out yet that you weren't about to get what he told you were going to get?
What he said, because I had the highest sales of the game for GameStop in the tri-state area for reserves for that game when I was at GameStop. Weird flex, but okay.
Let him know.
So what happened was they were asking, they were like, oh, so on IGN. I remember this on IGN. He came in the studio. They did a 30-minute playthrough, like a let's play or whatever. And they were like, oh, like there's other ships and stuff going on in the game. Will there be multiplayer? And he said, as of right now, it's a single-player experience. It's a really chill game. Multiplayer will come eventually. As you said, he said something on the lines of that. So when the game came out, I don't know what happened, but people were like, yo, like this is because the game's massive. It's he said you can see other planets that other players named. He said there's online components to it. So people were like, it's an online game. But when they heard online components, they're like, oh, so it's online. And he was like, no, but you can see other people's things. So you can see other people. That's how, and it went like wildfire. And he couldn't get ahead of it, so what he did, Zero Dark 30.
He went crazy.
Cut the whole thing out, and they spent 2.5 years to give what people wanted, even though it wasn't supposed to be in the game.
How many people in the studio?
Has it been 2 years since
It's
that
been
was
2
released?
years. August 2016.
Jeez.
How many people in the studio?
10. 10.
And now 2 years later, it's perfect. You're saying?
To me, I thought the game was cool when it first came out. It was a chill game.
Supposedly it's the game you should have got.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they're saying.
Too little, too late.
Which I would never get. I don't like space exploration. I remember Sheldon played a game on the computer called...
I know what you're
what's it
talking
called?
about.
You don't even know because it's
I
that
would say
forgettable.
this is the point. That's the point he's trying to make because I can't remember the name of
It's
it.
that forgettable. I forget the name.
So some people, though, that's all they want to do. They're just like a
Explore?
free roam game in outer space.
Think Interstellar, dude.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole.
I'm playing a game that's like Interstellar. I'm all in.
I just forget the game.
I see the appeal, but again, man, like when you release something, when you do what you did with No Man's Sky, it's like an unforgivable sin, dude. It's an unforgivable sin. You can fix it, but it's just like
You're never coming back.
All right, it's like I don't know.
And you know why
It's like- it's
IGN's
like-
so phony? Because that game when it came out, they said it was like a 6.5, 7. 2 years later, like, oh, this is 9 now. I'm like, don't pander.
But how many people are going to go back and buy it?
A lot of people went back and
Come
buy
on.
because their sales were
Come
close
on.
to
Hold on.
matching.
Did they offer the patch for free for people who had already
Yeah.
owned it? Okay,
Yeah, it was
good.
free.
That's good.
At
Did
least
they
that,
lower
at
the
least.
They-
price of it?
Yeah,
It's
they
like
made it.
$40.
It was
Still a lot of
that
money.
week when it came out.
Yeah.
It was 30.
Okay, well,
So they made it 30, and you got everything that was included over the past 2 years. And they redid the game pretty much. So they changed the cover, everything. So it now has 4 people on it. It says multiplayer on the back. So they changed it, and it's cool. But it's like, what I liked about the game is that like there was a story to it. It's like you're trying to figure out your place in like the galaxy and like why everything's happening. I thought that was sick, and they had to change it for the fucking multiplayer thing.
yeah.
But
To do away with all that. But again, immense pressure. And we've seen this happen before. Remember MAG, Massive Action Game? Remember that?
Mag,
Mag, dude, where they were like, dude, there's going to be like 100 players
100 people
at
on the
same-
server. Do you
they're just
remember
like,
that?
this is going to be the
it's
craziest.
360.
Bro. And then that thing completely flopped.
That was like 30 people on the server.
That was trying to be Fortnite way before
Yeah,
Fortnite
dude.
even happened. Like, that was the whole goal. But yeah, man, these creators who promise all this stuff, they have to go into hiding. Like, you remember what happened to the creator of Flappy Bird? Bro, that guy had to bounce.
Yeah, he was
He
gone.
deleted the game.
That guy had to bounce, yeah.
You can't even get that game, right?
No, 'cause
Gone. He was like,
Oh,
I'm
I
gone.
forgot.
He's
Yeah,
like, I'm out.
because he was getting death threats and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and then he felt so guilty because people were literally ruining their lives over it.
Mm-hmm. They had the bounce, dude.
Like
All over Flappy
a
Bird.
phone game.
Has anyone ever heard from him again?
No.
I don't know, bro. He's probably somewhere.
He
in
made
Aruba.
Flappy Bird too, right?
He's in Aruba just chilling, probably.
I remember when that happened, when they took it off the marketplace, people were selling their phones for like ridiculous
I remember that for like
amounts of money.
$700. I remember that.
People were selling it just for Flappy Bird, man.
But dude, it's crazy because like what No Man's Sky tried to fix, EA is almost $1 trillion like corporation just from the amount of games that they sell. They could have fixed it just like that. EA, a lot of the games, like I said, Mass Effect, it's been broken. It was
Terrible
broken for
game.
almost a month.
Terrible game.
FIFA,
Which one?
Mass Effect
Andromeda,
3? Andromeda.
Oh,
Andromeda.
the latest one.
they broke it.
Dude, that one was pretty bad.
EA broke
Bad.
it.
EA broke it.
Pretty bad.
But
dude.
EA also had the other ones because they had BioWare. But it's because they rushed this because they have Anthem coming out.
Mhm.
Anthem got pushed back 2 times.
Yeah.
Usually when you get pushed back once, that means you're going to get 3.
Mhm.
Third one's coming because they still just have a placeholder date of 2019. They don't have, I think they don't have a date yet, but
My biggest problem with EA is like, how are you gonna reskin Battlefield into Battlefront?
Star Wars.
Why? I don't
Mhm.
understand that whole concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
They,
dude, you know, like
continue what you were gonna say.
it's just
It's
like
nasty, man. They take advantage of the
it's
community.
like do what you got to do, but like, I'm not huge on Star Wars,
No.
so I feel like I wouldn't like be biasly saying it's a great game.
No.
Like, if you love Star Wars, you're obviously gonna love what they're giving you.
Right.
And I was just like, dude, this is Battlefield with Star Wars.
Yeah. No.
Same game.
It just never seemed right for me. The first one was like, okay, I hope you guys learn. And the second one was the same damn thing.
Yeah.
And like I would see like people on like social media, the whole like Target shelf would be full of
Yeah.
Battlefront 2, and I'm just like, how don't you know?
Mhm.
Like,
When I first heard Battlefront was being remade, I thought they were going to go with the old model of like the original Battlefront.
So did
Battlefront
I.
2.
And I was
And that's what
excited.
everyone was hoping for.
Dude,
Because
when you fired that game up,
They were originally supposed to have a Battlefield 3 the old way, but that got canceled because that company went under. So everyone got so excited, and then we got shit.
yeah,
We got shit and loot boxes.
Yeah.
bro, when
Yeah.
I loaded that game up and I was like, this looks a lot like Battlefield. And I was like, this is weird. And then when you first get into the game, I was like,
It doesn't feel like a Star Wars game, even
It
though it's
didn't.
Star Wars.
and that's the thing, dude. That's the thing about EA. They'll cash in on the name.
Oh,
Star
yeah.
Wars. Star Wars is going to sell 1 billion sales regardless. And they just were like, oh.
that's why it's weird that they gave it to him.
Yeah. No. It definitely is strange.
They wanted the most powerful hands on that.
Right. It was always 100%, 1,000%, as it usually is in the gaming industry, a money choice. They were like, man, like to put this in EA's hands just with what Battlefield is, to make Battlefront like that, that was the move, man. But I think the glory days of EA was EA Big. Like whatever happened to EA Big, man? Those games were fresh.
FIFA Street, NFL.
V3, NFL
Oh, yeah.
Street.
Mhm.
Those
NBA
games
Street.
were classics.
Mhm.
They were funny. They were awesome to play. Like, whatever happened to that? The last Street NFL game was NFL Tour for PS3, and that game was awesome, man.
Dude, the last great
want one of
the
those
last great
again.
EA game might have been released was like one of the Harry Potters. That game was crack.
What the heck, bro?
Bro, that's like
I
2005.
used to play the Harry Potter games too. I
Get
liked
out
it a
of
lot.
town, son.
No,
Come on,
I'm-
Harry
yo,
Potter and the
PlayStation
Sorcerer's
2.
Stone.
I'm dead ass. Yo,
Come
that game
on,
was
dog.
crazy.
No.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
No.
Bro, that was
Goblet of
EA.
Fire,
They were based off the movies?
Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah, bro. It was like
No, bro.
Yeah,
Dog.
dude. Are you kidding
I
me?
swear to God, that's how
I
bad
had
EA
them
has
all.
been.
I've never hopped in those games.
Bro, that's how bad
My
EA
man,
has
I
been.
know what you're talking about.
That they've been bad for that
I was
long.
a street man.
Street
Yeah.
V3,
I would hop up
bro.
in those.
Born in the
Yeah.
Dude,
streets.
we always
FIFA
laugh about
Street, man.
the announcer in Street 2. Remember, he was like, the J.U. Ice. Yo, all the crazy stuff he would say.
Bro, you
That
could,
game
you
was-
would come off the 2 run off the wall in street football, like,
Nah,
I was
NBA Street was my shit.
and
Or
dude,
bro.
you would hit the John and break the bat. Oh,
Game break.
you know?
No, but dude, in NFL Street, it'd be like, Game Breaker. Dude, it was sick, man.
And
Those
you had
were so
Exhibit, and he wasn't even an NFL player. He was a rapper, and you was
fun.
playing.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
game,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
this
Like
was fun.
Exhibit, yeah.
Exhibit
Yeah.
was in it. There was a whole bunch of like just hood street games. Remember the Def Jam fighting game? From
Love
PS2?
them.
Bro,
Love them.
bro,
Loved
bro, that was such a great game. I remember
Fight for New York, Vendetta.
I
Oh,
had
there's another
Vendetta.
one.
My dad lived in Belmar, New Jersey,
Yo.
and he got the double screens on the back of his car.
Oh, sweet.
So I got the PlayStation in the cut, the PlayStation 2, I think it was, playing Def Jam, and I was like, "This is the greatest game I ever played, bro." Because I'm sitting back there whooping ass, like
I couldn't
on the
believe
go.
it.
and the
you know?
more you're beating someone's ass, you hear their music playing.
Yeah.
So yeah. Dude, that
They'll
game was a
never make
classic.
games like that ever again.
No, they
Like,
won't.
Could you imagine, dude, today, like if they did like a Cash Money like records like fighting game or something like that, dude, or like some Drake like that?
Imagine.
That'd be crazy, man.
You think they could
Remember
make
Celebrity
a game like that
Deathmatch?
right now?
Not anymore.
Do you remember Celebrity
There'd be-
Deathmatch
people
video
would
game?
Sue. People are too easily offended now. I do remember Celebrity Deathmatch.
Bro,
That was
so
like when
fun.
Carrot Top was like a thing and
Oh
stuff
my
like
God,
that,
yeah,
bro.
that
That
was
was a weird
That,
game.
yeah, that was great. And
Like-
the Jackass video game for
But, I
PS2.
mean,
Hold up,
That-
what?
I never heard
Remember
of that.
I had that, dude. Jackass.
See, that's why you're
The
the,
video
all,
game?
that's why you're the all-knowing, bro. Nobody would know that there's a Jackass video.
Dude, Google it,
Dude,
man.
you guys
Jackass
remember
video
those?
game.
Did you ever play those Burger King video games that they
Yep.
would give?
The racing one. I forget what his name was.
Yo,
The
Uh,
sneak,
not too
no,
much.
no, remember
The Sneak King. Sneak King.
I'd get my
King, that was
Whopper
the
and go
one.
home. He's like, I got the video
You
game,
got the
yo.
game.
Bro. And McDonald's,
they're
back in
so-
the day, not McDonald's, Burger King. Burger King used to give out Backstreet Boys CDs.
I had those.
One
Oh,
was
yeah,
red,
well, you
one was
had to keep
blue.
those.
I remember those. Yeah, I remember
Fire.
those.
What?
Yeah, bro.
Man, I know. I was definitely.
McDonald's
not
gave out Tamagotchis at one point too.
Yeah, I remember that.
No, that
The
was
golden age.
Dude, that's wild.
I mean, like, my here. I'm gonna take you guys really back with this. Remember when you would go into a store, right, with your mom? Your mom's picking up like I don't know something at CVS, and you would go to the rack with the magazines on it. And you go to the
Mhm.
gaming magazine. You ask your mom, "Yo, can I get the gaming magazine?" She's like, "Sure."
I stole the demos in them.
Bro, I was just about to get to that.
Stole them every time.
They would give you demo discs, bro.
And I didn't buy the
all the-
magazine, but guess what I left with? That demo disc
Demo
in
disc.
my jacket.
Yo, you really
Dude,
you took them
I
right
was
out
such
the
a bad
plastic.
little kid, dude.
Yo,
Such a
man.
bad little kid.
That was hype though when you popped that in. I played Ratchet and Clanks 2 for the first time. I was like,
Same,
"What
dude.
is this?"
And
bro?
Sly Cooper.
Oh man,
Not Sly. That was was Sly
W?
PS2? That was PS2 or PS3. I forget which one it was.
Or when.
But I played Metal Gear. Metal Gear is one of them on the PlayStation. It was in the. I think I still have the magazine somewhere in the basement.
yeah.
But I'm gonna take a picture of that whenever I find it.
Are Eagles
like,
winning
on
right now?
walls.
Eagles, they're losing 13-6.
Who are they playing?
Dallas.
Who cares?
I care.
That is what it is.
I care a lot.
Oh,
I don't watch football.
I don't watch football today. I was actually like
You were-
worried. I was like,
We got Jimmy Butler though.
Sheldon was a Dallas fan,
You
though.
get Jimmy Butler, and I'm
I didn't watch
hype
football.
about it.
You got Amari Cooper.
So hype about it.
Oh,
You watch basketball?
I watch UFC mainly.
always watch the fights, bro.
It's just about UFC. You know?
UFC and e-gaming.
Huh?
UFC and e-gaming.
That's it. I watch football for fantasy, basketball hard, soccer very hard. I used to watch bowling.
Whoa.
That's gotta get intense.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I got that high score,
Yeah. So
267.
the X up
Bro,
for strike.
they be hit. I was in a league 2 years running.
How'd you do?
I took a dub once.
You got
Were you
smoked.
really?
Bowling's very fun. If you
was that what you put your time into after you quit e-gaming?
Wait, did you do that in high school?
that's before now. I picked up a lot of things after high school, and bowling was one of them. So like 2 years ago, I bowled, and I remember joining a league. You know the Pendel.
Yeah.
So I joined Pendel. It was a get a ball league.
Well, can I ask you why? Like,
Why?
What possessed you initially to do bowling?
My brother's best friend, who's also one of my good friends,
Mhm.
was on the Bentown bowling team,
Okay.
and I guess it was like me, my brother, my mom, and him, and I guess they were just looking for something to do, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll bowl, like whatever.
Sweet.
In the first league, we got a ball,
Okay.
so I was like, okay, now I got my own ball, ball my own shoes real quick.
You have a bag?
I got a bag, yeah. And then my boy CJ Levesca,
Mm.
he was like, yo, join my league. So I was like, bet, yeah, I'll join your league. It was like a money league.
Yeah.
Ended up winning the whole thing.
Nice, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like I had like a 50 something average, but my highest is like a 267, like which is like one spare.
See, that's another thing I'll never get into, but that's really cool.
Dude. And one of the big reasons why I like bowling is because you can get drunk. I'm not
While
gonna.
you're bowling.
Have you ever played
It won't
golf?
affect your play.
Yeah.
Have you ever played golf?
Not really.
Crazy, bro. You can get like
Hammered.
hammered. And like as long as you can compose yourself to a degree, you're fine. Same thing with bowling. That's all you need to do is just throw that ball on, because like you know like the arrows,
The curvature
In the
everything.
middle?
Yeah.
all you got to do is just like know what to do on that, like follow your like instinct. And it's just like crazy because like I got so into like bowling and golf.
This seems to be a repetitive thing with you. You find an avenue competitively that you like and you lock into it 1,000%.
And then I quit. Yeah.
When
No,
you get sick of it.
I've done it with everything in my life. I've played basketball, quit. Played football, quit. Video games. I'd play one video game, quit, get the next one, quit. So I would never reach my full potential.
Well, when you say quit, is it because you get tired of it and you want to try something different? Because that's different than quitting. That's like saying, I did what I wanted with this, now I'm moving on.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. That's different.
But it could also be me getting bored
okay.
because my attention span is not crazy.
What will be the thing that you lock into that you finally unleash your full potential on?
Lock into something. Probably nothing ever. I've never once, like crazy locked into anything. I've only ever played something for a period of time, quit. So I've never really, I don't think I'll ever, boom, one game, ever. And it's not going to be a sport because sports have never clicked for me at all. Like, I remember high school, I just never had a desire. Whether it would be no desire, anxiety, life. I would just go home, play video games, crazy at video games, quit. Next game, quit.
I think the quitting might be a cop-out, man. Now that I'm psychoanalyzing,
What do you think
we're
I'm
getting a
copping
little
out
deep.
on?
I don't know. You're afraid of failing.
Okay. Afraid of failing.
I think all of us are afraid of that, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, you can be afraid of something and still take it head on.
I mean,
That's
that,
true.
that could be one of my biggest, like, tropes. I guess that's a word, trope. It's like my biggest, like, thing is, like,
Quirk.
the unknown of failing.
That's usually why people stop when they build to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I sense the L coming. It's like a gambling thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like getting some wins. Might as well get out while the winning's good.
I feel like it's more in my personal life than video games.
Okay.
Because I feel like it's harder to deal with it in your actual life than video games. Because it's not, like, video games are video games.
Right.
Like, to a degree, you're never going to face the actual problem like you would at, like, a job or, like I remember at Temple, I would never go to the connections. You know, did they have those in your school, like your field? Like you would
connect, yeah.
It would be like
Well, they would-
employers,
yeah.
small talk. Never, bro. I was always like, I don't need that, you know. And like it kind of bit me in the ass. if I'm gonna be honest, like it kind of was like, because I was like, I didn't like I was on my own, like I guess my own accord at this point.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't need that, you know. Like I'm good. Like one, because the anxieties of like me and you having a 6-minute conversation. Which I'm not a huge fan of. Like, it's not hard to talk to you.
Right.
But, like, this stigma with, like, I got something you want. Come talk to me.
Right.
You know? And then you're like, shit. Okay, cool. And I've never, like, I never went to any Temple connection at all. At all. And it's a very, like, a huge flaw that I messed up on. Which I understand.
But I mean, it's not too late to do something different. Like, I mean, college is college, but there's life that goes on after.
Yeah, but I think it's a little harder in life because
It's a gatekeeper thing.
I just think the anxieties don't go away after that incident. Like,
What? Because you didn't show up to a connect?
well, no, I think they've always been present. Like, I remember, like, I guess like middle school, high school, I felt like this like anxiety, like I had like this like I didn't know it was an anxiety at the point, but when I got older I was like, yo, like that shit like overwhelmed me, like I like got a little weird on it. So like now it's like I could have hit those events, I could have did this, I could have did that, but now I'm here with what 80 like 60 to 80 applications for jobs, and I'm beat because and I could have just hit that map, like could have hit those Johns with the employers, and I could have been good, you know, off the rip.
Yo,
you know,
something that my producer at work says all the time, bro, that I'm gonna say right now: forward ever, backwards never, my guy. What happened. Maybe it happened for a reason, dog. Maybe you need to go through all that stuff to realize what you realize now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you can't be too critical of that, because it is nerve-wracking going up to somebody and be like, yo, like I could give you a job, but like you have to like convince me.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe I'm not ready to do that.
Yeah.
So because you're not ready to do that, it doesn't mean that like you're not motivated or that like you don't want the job. You know, that it doesn't necessarily mean that. It means that that's not the approach that you're willing to do right now. You're going to go back and regroup
and try and figure out something that works for you, that's cool. You know, not everyone's like that. Not everyone can go up and be like, hey, like, here's my business card, and like, I'm very interested in your corporation. People are different, and they're looking for different people to employ too. They're not looking for the same guy that can always pull that off.
Yeah.
So it's different for everybody, man. But I think part of the thing is, man, being ready to take an L. Whatever I go into, bro, I get ready to lose right away. I get ready to lose right away, but I know that eventually I will win.
But do you
See, I'm the opposite.
I think that, and people are like, "Oh, you're too pessimistic."
See, no, my issue is I think it's like the winning. I just want to win, right? So in sports, obviously, you take L's in sports. I've been injured whole life, not whole life, but since college started, my injuries piled on. I had serious injuries and like pretty bad ones, but like when it came to like real world shit, knock on wood, I was always winning, right? So then I never let myself, because me and him were talking about this before, I don't let myself get to a point where it's like things could be in jeopardy or I have to start over. So like, let's say if I was at a job and then I'm going for, someone comes to me and says, oh, I got this, interview for you or something like this. There's an opening. And that's a way in, right? Network connection. Something that like he didn't like have because he didn't go to the connection. So I had a connection. So then I go 0 to 100 on that connection, get the thing, and then, get hit with an obstacle. Then I'm like, oh, what do I do now? And then that's where it like things start to crumble. So I never got to that point. So I'm like currently going through that point. So it's just like, it's like, where does sense of direction? You know what I mean?
We're all at different points in our life, man.
That's what I'm saying.
I wish it was, see, in my eyes.
And that's where I struggle with the gatekeeper mentality. It's like what he said. I want to apply myself to something like this, but why do I have to sell my soul in order to get that? You know what I mean?
Well, we're getting really deep at the end here. It sucks because we have to end it soon because it is getting late. But maybe like a few more remarks and then we'll get out.
Let's dive.
Let's eat.
I think in life, in general, when you can have a concise way to look at a problem, saying this is the problem, it's easier than when the problem is undefined. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm at a point in my life where I feel like I'm chasing something that I think there's a possibility that it may never come. If there was something that I looked at and I said, oh, this is the obstacle and all I have to do is beat this obstacle and I'll be there. No, it wouldn't be easy, but at least I would have a concise plan of action to do it. Right now, I feel like I'm just feeling around in the dark.
Yeah.
Back to what you said about like that you'd be too pessimistic going into a situation being like, I'm going to fail. Elliot Hulse said something that was very, very interesting, man. He said success isn't doing the right thing, and it's definitely not doing the right thing the first time. It's about making the small, consistent actions over and over again that leads to success. In my opinion, that is failing. So when you quit, and I'm not trying to you quit for your own reasons. Yeah. But when you quit before you fail, essentially you're saying is like, this is all the growing that I'm comfortable doing. I don't want to do any more growing in this. I don't want to invest any more time because I don't feel like I should grow in this anymore. But when you continue after you fail, that's when you're committing to growth. That's when you're like, okay, now I can fully grow in this thing. And I feel like that's where I am in my life, that like what I'm chasing right now, which is obviously the dream job, the career that I talk about all the time, I have failed so many times at it that I've become so numb, and now I just don't care about looking dumb in front of people. I don't care about putting myself out there. I don't care about being embarrassed. And I think that's the key to getting what I want eventually, that I'm so numb to it, man. Like Gary Vee talks about it, just being like numb to just any sort of resistance.
I just started on Gary Vee.
I love how you say it like he's a show.
Yeah.
I'm on episode 1 of Gary Vee.
I caught a couple YouTube Johns on him, and
he's good, man.
He definitely speaks some. Yeah.
But the hard thing about that, like I said, like you've gone through fails, right? Like you said,
so many, dude.
So far for myself, I haven't had a fail yet.
Ugh.
So it's like where someone who's gone through fails and someone who hasn't gone through fails, kind of like what you're saying, overcoming that first fail is the hardest one.
You ever had someone make you a mystery concoction? Like they got everything in the kitchen and put it all together? Like it's just like they put eggs and then chocolate milk and then they put like some ketchup and pepper and just like made some gross thing.
Is this a legitimate drink or analogy?
No, like somebody did that like as a prank, or like you lost a bet and you had to do that. You have to drink like some gross mystery drink.
Mm-mm.
Well,
I've seen it happen
Yeah.
at a camp one time, and this kid, he had to do it on stage.
No names mentioned.
He lost this game, and he had to drink this mystery drink on stage.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. It was like a clear water bottle, so they put a blindfold on him.
Yeah.
And dog, he just held his nose, tipped his head back,
Threw
and
it
just
back.
took that whole
Go
joint
head
to the
on.
dome. Could have been anything in there.
Yeah.
Could have been Clorox in there. Could have been, but he just took it, man. That's how you gotta take failure. It's gross. It's disgusting, but dog, you take that right to the head. Take it right to the freaking head, bro. I would do it now. I'd get it over with now. That was my whole point using that analogy, dog.
Yeah.
Just fail now, so the pain is less. I'm telling you, dude.
I think my biggest problem with failure is it's harder. It's like when you look on it, it's hard, but when you're in the moment, it's easy.
Oh, when you look back and be like, you cringe, that kind of thing?
No, like when you look forward to it, you're like, I don't want to do this because of this. But then when you get into the situation, you're like, this isn't as bad as I really thought was about to go down.
100%, man. 100%.
And that's my biggest problem.
Yeah.
Like is like just pushing myself and all my anxieties away and be like, just get in there, you know? And then when you get in there, you're like, this ain't crazy. Like, yeah, I messed up probably, but
right.
it wasn't what I thought in my head was going to be. I didn't get ripped up. You know what I'm saying? Someone didn't like crucifix me.
No.
Like I'm good. Like I'm going to come out of this.
And 90% of the time, you're the only one that sees the full extent of your failure.
Yeah.
Like, people see the surface level, but you're the only one that see like how much it truly cost. And that's good because you're the only one that needs to see it because you're the one that's going to learn from it. So it's good that you know all the facts about it, right? But it's just regroup, re-strategize, and attack. All right, we have to end. Ryan looks like he's going to kill me.
Oh, no. Sorry. Jeez, my bad, dude. I was just looking at my fantasy score.
No, my bad, bro. I don't know. Like,
What time we got?
We got
it's almost 11.
10:48.
10:48.
How
You
feeling?
think 12 more minutes, or you want to wrap?
We'll do 12 more minutes, man. There's some deep talk. I want to get your opinion on this though, Kuna. My bad. I didn't mean to call you out. Or if you're looking at your phone, do
I was
do
just
your
looking at
thing.
my fantasy score,
My
man.
bad,
It's
bro.
important, right?
No, I thought you were whipping it out like, what time is it?
No, my bad, man.
You're all good, man.
What, you just want to, like, me to talk about failures?
I mean, you're a very philosophical dude. I feel like whenever we talk about philosophical stuff on the show, you got stuff to say.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like everyone fails, even if, you say you don't have any failures.
Well, what I mean, I probably have.
You haven't
what
faced
I mean,
a crushing one yet.
There it is.
What
I'm saying is, okay, so when it came for me for school, jobs so far, never had a setback. Everything I've done has been calculated, and I've gone through it and smashed through it. So what my worry is for myself, I'm currently going through, I guess, how do I overcome that? That first true failure, like this didn't work out. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I guess what I think about it all is that everyone has failures. I mean, but you have to try different things to be a failure, and that's not necessarily failing. It's just you haven't found what's right for you yet.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the really hard part, besides like past finding, I guess the hardest part is finding what you want to do. But once you find what you want to do, the hard part becomes being consistent about it and doing it even when you don't want to do it. Because I think we all hit that wall. We all hit that time in our life where, like, even if we fucking eat, live, and breathe, whatever the fuck we're doing, if we're doing it like 40 hours a week, all like 365 days a year, it gets fucking awful, and you fucking hate it, and you just want to quit. And like, it's like building that discipline of just like keep fucking hammering at it, keep going, and eventually maybe something happens from it. Maybe something doesn't.
It's the maybe though, yeah.
Yeah, but there's a maybe for everything.
Exactly.
But I think that's like
what
one of my
deters people,
issues.
Is the maybe.
Is one of my issues because,
right.
like I said, I like to be calculated with certain things. So the unknown for that, that's like the weird part.
I just think, going off of about college, about that connect, like, yeah, I used to think the same thing, dude. I'm like, if only I had done this, if only I had done that, if only I had joined this club, if only I had talked to this person, networked with this professor. Like, you could go on for fucking days about that, but at the end of the day, like, you're still here, you're still alive, you're still fucking kicking it, dude.
Yeah.
And you're still, you seem like a funny dude. You've tried a bunch of different shit, which, like, not everyone can say, man. Like, a lot of people just try one thing, one stupid fucking thing. They go to a desk job, they do whatever the fuck they think they're supposed to do. You out here trying video games, which like no one even considers a thing, but you see that there's money in it,
and you did it at the right time, though. Bro.
You can see there's value to it to some extent. There's a reason that people are trying to do this. It's not just all mumbo jumbo. People just sitting in their basements doing literally nothing but enjoying
Right.
like a game.
Like if
You
you were
know?
married, bro, and you had 3 kids, like you would have to work.
Yeah.
But you were just
Yeah.
out of college. You're like, dog, let me try this gaming thing.
You're
It
trying.
was the time I needed. and
Yeah, I mean, you're trying all this other stuff. You're putting yourself out there. You're trying to figure out what's right for you. And like, I mean, how many years have you been out of college?
not even a year.
Not even a year.
real?
So who the fucking who like how are you gonna know?
I
man?
graduated in February.
Exactly. So
I'm
like
saying,
how
bro.
how are you gonna know what you want to do, or
Yeah.
how do you know what's gonna work out for you? Because like I don't know what you're doing for a job.
I think
right
it's like
now.
the gap in resume, which fucks
But like,
me.
how can you have a resume when you
Bro.
just got out of school? You know, like
then
I
that's
mean,
that's my
I've
question
been
in
out of,
life.
I've been out of school for like 2.5 years now, maybe.
Yeah, I'm 2 years.
And I'm only just like starting to get into a field, not even necessarily the field I want to be in. Like maybe I want to be in, maybe I don't. I'm finally just starting to like get good at it, and it took 2 fucking years to do that, man. Like it takes time. It takes
That's
time.
my
for
biggest like look though. It's like, damn, like nobody's like, you know, like nobody like looks out.
everything. Of course not. But you say yourself, like,
so like I'm just on the grind at this point, like trying to find that one person. Like, yo, just give me that chance real quick. Like,
yeah, but I'm pretty sure you said in the beginning of the podcast about like how people see these like ninjas and they're like, "How the fuck did you get here?"
Yeah, yeah,
And like,
yeah.
but he's been doing it for 10 years.
Good point.
You know?
I guess it's being in that pre-ninja stage where it's like kind of depressing a little bit.
Yeah, and like that
And it
stage
depends what
fucking
kind of person you are
stage
to
fucking
handle
sucks, man.
said depression or said
Of
like
course, of
rejection or
course.
whatever or
And, like,
unknown.
Far be it from me to tell you how to handle your depression or handle your anxiety or
Yeah,
handle all these things because
Oh, yeah.
that's your can of worms. And like what works for me, how I handle mine,
Yeah,
isn't necessarily gonna work for you. But
Right.
like you'll figure it out, man. You just gotta keep fucking going, keep pushing it, keep
Yeah.
trying things, and hopefully you'll start
Some will
building skills
stick.
in a field that you like.
Yo, I like to talk openly about my failures, man. And I've said this before on the podcast. The worst failure I ever had, the one I think about every day, like the one that drives me all the time, is when I graduated college. I had an interview at Marvel, and I didn't get that job. And I always think to myself, like, could I have done better? And the person that got the job was definitely better than me,
Yeah.
for 100%. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why they got hired. Unless I said something that was completely offensive, but I don't think I did. So.
I'd love to see that replay.
Bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really, really prepared for this, like, as much as I possibly could. But at the end of the day, there was somebody that was better than me. So, I was, like, really shook after that for a long time. And a really good friend of mine gave me a piece of advice that, like, worked like a charm. I was like, yo, dog, like, I was really banking on this. Like, this was going to be my dream. I was going to live in New York and work at Marvel. And I was like, I'm really, really shook up. And I was like, well, now I got to find a job. And I go, it's really, really hard to get a job in my field. And I keep getting, like, no's everywhere I go. And he said, take out a piece of paper and write 50 no's on the front. Like, write no 50 times on the front and write no 50 times on the back. He goes, and just apply to jobs, just, like, every day. So the way I did it is, like, I applied to 1 job Monday, 2 job Tuesday, 3 job Wednesday, 4 job Thursday, like, 5 job Friday, Saturday, and then I would reset 1 job Monday. And that's, like, how I would do it. And I was starting to get replies. And every single time I got a rejection, I'd cross out a no. And he told me, he was like, you're not going to cross out all 100 no's. He goes, I promise you, before you get a yes. He's like, it won't hit 100. I promise you. And it didn't. I forget what number I got up to. Probably maybe like 40, 30, something like that. And because I did that, it really, really helped. It really, really helped. Even if for some reason it did surpass 100.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like even if it did, I would have wrote the paper
Start the
over
100
again.
over again.
I would have wrote the paper over again. But when I looked at it like that, it put me in a headspace like, okay, it's just gonna be the next one. It's just gonna be the next one. And eventually it was, man.
Do you remember what no you got to?
Like I said, it was probably somewhere like 30, 40. I didn't even finish.
was
I
just-
didn't even finish the
was
first
just
page.
going, yeah.
I didn't even finish the first page. But it was one of the best
That's
pieces
my
of
thing,
advice I
man.
ever got.
I've gotten a lot of no's, which doesn't bother me. Like,
Nah, man.
cool, it's a no, you know.
Respect it, yeah.
But it's the whole I need a job now type mentality.
Yes,
That's
I
kind of
understand.
fucking with my head.
I understand.
And it's like, let me get this, you know. And it's just like, no. And it's like what you're talking about with your Marvel interview. Like, mine wasn't as big, but I think about the first job interview I went to. My boy set me up, and I was like, did I say something like wrong? Like,
Right.
you know, because like I'm still waiting for like, even if they hit me up and say no, which is whatever, but I'm still waiting for like that no. And in my head, I'm like, did I say something wrong? Did I not do this right? Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
And it's like that unknown, which is like whatever, it'll probably surpass. But it's like that initial thing where you're thinking like self-doubt, like did I fuck up, like, but then I did my second interview and I was like, I did good. I was like, I'm good. I'm cool.
You did good. That's
the
the thing.
And I'm still ongoing in that process right now. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're lost at that point. Like, I might have knocked out in with your company, but that's your problem, not mine. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You weren't looking for what I got at this point.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the hardest / harshest things for someone to get over is that we all know what our self-worth is.
Yeah.
But then when you're trying to apply yourself to somewhere and they say you're not good enough, it's like, how do you know I'm not good enough because you don't give me the chance? That's like one of the hardest internal obstacles you have to overcome.
Right.
Is like saying, just because I may not have been good enough here, I can be good enough somewhere else.
Exactly.
Because you just need that one person to open the door. That's all you need.
Yeah, man. And seriously, you'll remember that person forever. Like, I remember the person that it was for me. Like, that guy literally saved me from a miserable job that I had straight out of working out of college, man, that I've talked about many times. Like, I was moving furniture as soon as I graduated college and moving trash out of abandoned buildings, and I wanted to kill myself. Like, I wanted to jump out of a window. I was like, I don't understand how people do this job for 10 years. Like, it isn't fair. Like, this is so nuts. And it's not like that was my only option. I was just having a hard time finding a job in my field, and I refused to stay home and not work.
Yeah.
Like, I needed to make money. And, like, I had no reason to. Like, I had all of this, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, I wanted to. And I was just like, dude, I cannot do this. And so when I finally did get the break that I wanted, wasn't paying nearly anything. Like, and it wasn't glamorous at all because it was 10 hours a day. But that guy saved me from picking up trash and moving pianos in Philadelphia. And I was like, I'll never forget. That was the one guy that gave me a chance, you know?
It's just that one.
And so my big goal in life is eventually, when I'm an old head, to be that person for somebody else, man. I sold myself successfully, but it's nothing without that person deciding. So back to what Ryan said, you'll figure it out. You will figure it out. You just got to hammer at it like you've never hammered at anything before. Like, your full-time job is finding a job. That's what my dad told me. He was like, dog, sit down, make this John happen. That's it, you know? But at the same time, there's no pressure. He was just like, your full-time job is to find a job. That's cool. I'll buy you food, do whatever. So as long as that you look at it like that, you just open up your room. Your room is the office for you to find a job. It'll come. I'm telling you.
I agree. I feel like I have a lot of extra variables for me.
Yeah, I didn't mean to oversimplify it. Again, I don't know.
I know
your
you're chilling. I just think like I know what I got to do.
Yeah.
But it's like other stuff that makes me feel like I got to do it now. You know, like,
Well, is that gonna help motivate you or overwhelm you?
overwhelm.
Okay.
100% overwhelm.
Okay.
Like I've definitely looked more for employment. Like, I probably active for a month, and I've gotten like 8 to 10 people hit me up. Some people I said, yo, I'm good on that. Like, I don't feel like that's probably not my career. Like, sales, like, that's not my career path. Like, but I thank you for like whatever. But it's like this extra variable that makes me think that I need to get the fuck out now, which is like family, you know, like just for other relations. And it's just like, that definitely doesn't help me because it makes me feel like, oh shit, like, you ain't doing this yet. Yeah, you're fucked. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit like that. Like,
But that's their outlook of you, man.
and I understand that because I dealt with it all my life. Like, cool, have whatever you want on me.
Right.
Like,
That's what I'm saying.
but it comes to a point where it's like, if I were to go to Thanksgiving, right, with my family, I'm getting ripped. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't care,
Yeah.
but you don't understand that, like, one, I'm trying my shit. Like, I'm trying my ass off out here. 2, it takes longer than, like, it took me three weeks to even get like replies from like actual employers.
Yeah.
You know. And then I set up an interview, yada yada yada. It took me that long just to get like interviews with people, and you're over here ripping me the fuck up, calling me like a loser, like, which is like, that's your grandma. Your grandma probably talks that heavy shit.
Yeah, but think about it. Your grandma was born at a time where you didn't even have to go to college.
That's what I'm saying, and I'm not
They were
about
working
to,
at the mill making a lot of money.
and I'm not about
yeah.
to explain this to her.
Yeah.
So I take it on the chin.
Yeah.
You have to.
You know what I'm saying? Let me just take it on the chin, you know? Like, I'm a part of this, which is like an extra stress. Like, I'm a part of this family, which my grandma has 4 kids, whatever. I'm the only, my mom's her only daughter that's deemed as like The fuck your kids doing?
Hold on, bro. First off, you just graduated from school, pretty much.
Yeah, and it's like I'm not even a year out.
Yeah. So what's up?
But even if I was in school, I'm getting ripped on, which I took it to the chin. It's like, whatever, dude. You know, doing the same.
No, man. Listen.
Which gave me the mentality of like, when I'm here,
Mm-hmm.
like when I'm making some money, like I'm good. Like don't speak to me on I'm proud of you.
Yeah, yeah.
Which gives me like this weird chip, because it's like don't hit me on like, oh Kris, like yeah, I'm proud of you, like motherfucker, like you just like contributed to like
severe
like,
depression,
like some
anxiety.
depression on my part, because like I'm not the most mentally stable in this world. Like
No.
you know what I'm saying? Like you want to portray you're good, man. Like everyone ain't good. Like and like it took me a long time to realize like I ain't good. You know, like in high school I was like I'm good.
Yeah.
College I was like I'm cool. The later half of college I was like I ain't good. Like
When you say good, what do you mean?
mentally,
Health.
like mental health. Like I don't think my mental health is the greatest. And I always thought in high school like it was normal. I was like, this shit kind of normal. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
But I was like, yo, like normal people don't go through what I'm going through in my head, kind of. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I tried my best to fight it, but we ain't normal out here. Like and then like I'll sit on social media and like say like you're famous and you talk about mental health. I'll be like, shit, like people go through this, like, but because I keep it so internally, I'm like, oh nah, Andrew don't go through that, Sheldon don't go through that, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't go through that, and it's like crazy because like it took me that long to realize like I'm just taking shit to the chin out here, and like, and it's just like mental health's like it's more prevalent now, but it wasn't like a thing in my mind.
It wasn't speaked about.
Like people didn't talk about it before.
You don't talk about mental health, you know, and like that was a huge part in like. I mean, it still is a huge part in like me finding a job, or like, and like my pride hurts me on asking like, say like you were in my field, and I was like, yo Andrew, can you like try to hook me up?
Yeah.
I'm not doing that because my pride, you know.
Yeah.
Which is the weird thing, because because you could also get the notion like, oh, he's only hitting me up because he only wants something.
Yeah.
You know, and then like there's three options in my head, like, oh nah, this motherfucker's gonna think I'm on some shit, like. And then it's like, but in my mind, I'm not. Like, I'm just like this, like, I guess, like, desperate and just, like, vulnerable person. Like, yo, like, I need some help.
I see that, man. I see that.
Which is, like, weird, because even if you were my best friend, I still would never ask you. It doesn't matter who you are in my life. You ain't about to put me on that, like, oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I got you.
which is a weird thing about, like, job searching and shit. Like, mental health, crazy, bro. It's crazy.
I think so, like, it's gonna sound such a generalization, but growing up in America, we're known as the fastest. We're supposed to be the strongest, like, just as people. If you think 10 years ago how the country was, 20 years ago, whatever, it's blown up since then. And what happens to us mentally, we're not really capable of understanding what is really, like, going on in a country, if that's, like, corporate-wise, technology-wise, whatever it is. It's a lot to consume. So we're consuming so much information. We're constantly overloading ourselves, like, every fucking day. And so where I was going with it is, like, we have this, like, this tough guy act, right? Whereas other countries, they have very, their lines of work are very person to person. They help out. If you go, so if someone's struggling on the street, Philadelphia, New York, whatever, people just walk by.
Yeah.
That's how we're built. Just walk by. Go to India, see someone struggling on the street, see what happens. You're going to have 30 to 40 people around him saying, yo, get this man to a hospital. So do you see what I'm saying? There's a mentality that we have in this country where it's like, keep your head down, go forward, do what you got to do, 9 to 5, whatever. Boom. We don't do much for ourselves or for others that, like, help them here. And I don't know, I feel like it's such a, and I don't want to attribute that to just, like, lifestyle that's, like, just American thing and, like, other countries do it differently. It's just, like, that's what it became. And I think we're the country that suffers from, like, mental health, mental disease, like, the most out of everyone, because it's just an overload of, like, so much shit. Like, to me, like how you said, like, college, my last few years of college, I had stress I never knew what stress was before my last 2 years of college. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure we all can relate here.
Yeah.
Those last 2 years of college made me like, oh my fucking God, I am drowning.
Yeah.
Why am I drowning and there's no water?
Keyword drowning. I feel that.
And like now I'm in a career path and I'm just like, I still feel like I have water in the lungs.
Right.
And I'm just like,
You feel like you're running as fast as you can just to stay still.
and while you're running as fast as you can, you see other people just running the same speed, but they're just going ahead of you. Kind of like it's like a track race.
Or slower.
Or slower.
Or slower.
But our pride is like, like the competitive thing. I have to beat them. And it unfortunately, that's what it comes down to be, but it shouldn't. And I don't want to make it sound like, oh, like communism, like everyone or whatever it's called. It's just like that's just how it is, and it fucking sucks how it's like that.
Yeah.
It's a dog-eat-dog world, our world that we're currently in, and it would be nice if, like, I don't know what the world and the makeup of the world's going to look in 30 years, just that people would help people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we shouldn't be afraid to talk about mental health, mental disease.
No, I don't think so either.
And, like, we shouldn't be chastised for career choices or decisions, like, relatives. Dude, I had that, too. I wasn't even 2 months out of school. Where are you looking at?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Bro, let me. I just went through 4 grueling years where I had a concussion. I was questioning my sanity at one point. I had 2 knee tears, couldn't even walk. I tear my ACL a week before I go to Germany.
You know what? Those people forgot what it's like to be young, though. Even when you're 40, you're like, "What's the next thing? What's the next thing?" But when like you're a young adult, you're just like, "Whew, all right, man."
Dude, when you're our age and this
Crack a
current
little back.
timeline of the internet age and like
Yeah.
the digital age, there's not many job choices. Not many things are opening up.
Yeah, man. I have a solution for me, not for you. I'm just
of
gonna
course.
put it like, you know what I'm saying? You said something about your pride, like you're worried about your pride getting hurt. Bro, throw your pride out the window, man. Just become ruthless and obsessed with what you want, dude. And just not care what anyone thinks,
To
man.
the point
And
where it's
just-
like tunnel vision.
Just go after
Just
it, bro.
get it.
There's a job I wanted, and the lady was like, "I'm sorry, but like you didn't make the cut." And I emailed her and I said, "Look, I tried to get this job last year. I didn't get it. I applied this year. I didn't get it. I understand it's very competitive. A lot of people apply for it." I was like, "If you give me an interview on Sunday, I promise I will come and impress you. That's it." And I sent the interview, and I got the interview on Sunday, and I did it, and I got that job. And that job was resident assistant. That's how me and Ryan got pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to be ruthless, dude. Like, don't worry about your pride. Like, my pride would have stopped me from writing that email because it would have sounded desperate. But I was just honest with her. I was like, "Look, I applied last year. I want this job. If you give me a time, I will deliver." You know, I had to prove myself, man. I had to step up. And that's something I wouldn't normally do, man. But I cast my pride aside. And that's not a piece of advice, but I guess just expressing my experience, man. Is like, you can't care what people thinking about you at all, man. In this world, like, you just have to go after what you want, dude. And if someone gets offended, or you were too forward in that email, or your language was very aggressive, I'm offended, you just gotta walk away, man. Let them eat that pie, because it's your time or no one's time, dog. So you got it, man. Just rein in, dog. You have what it takes. You have what it takes, man. Think about it. You played video games for 8 months. I can't play a video game like that for a week. I'm dead. I'm done. I'm tapped out.
That's the weird part, because I know whatever job I get, I'm gonna put my shit into it.
That's it,
Yeah.
then, dude. That's
Yeah.
all. If you can make me that promise, I'm not worried.
Easy, you know.
I'm not worried, man.
But at the same time, man,
It takes that one person.
compartmentalize the insides. Talk to us. Like, that goes for myself, for everyone here, like, or even people watching. Like, if you're going through shit, there's someone that's going through it, and talk to them.
Right. You
Yeah,
summed
I mean,
it up.
It took me a while to realize, like,
Yeah.
you might be going through what I'm going through.
Yeah,
Like, I always
man.
thought in my head, like, it's me.
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
against
bro.
all of it.
Right.
Then I, like, got older, and I was like, yo, Joe Schmo, we're all here. Like,
Yeah.
and it took me so long to realize that shit. Like,
I always thought about that in the loneliest parts of my life. I was like, there's someone else who's feeling even lonelier.
yeah.
That's crazy,
Bro.
man. Someone I know, too.
Yeah.
Someone I know who's just like, dang, I really just need to talk to someone right now. That's the thing. You're
Which is
never
wild,
alone.
bro.
It's crazy. We got super deep. I have to end it right now, man. But thank you for sharing. Thank you for being honest, dude.
Easy.
I think we covered a lot. We talked about video games, then we just went right deep into life.
Yeah.
I kind of want to continue this conversation, but I
We'll
know I can't.
we'll get a part 2 going.
Yeah, I guess we can. Dude, thank you so much for coming on. If you ever stream again or ever do anything again, like please come on so like we can promote it. But to whatever you do next, salute. Come on again and talk about games. It'd be awesome.
For sure.
So yeah, man. Kris, thank you for coming on. This has been episode 48. We're tired and we're out. See ya. Peace. Yo, yo, yo. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Andrewcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your attention. Before we get into the content of today's episode, I definitely want to get into our sponsor that I've been so graciously gifted, Roast House Coffee, located in South Texas. Now, you may be saying, Andrew, I'm not a coffee person. You know, I like tea. I like drinking tea and honey and throw a little bit of milk in there. You know, I'm trying to live my life. Look, I understand you're trying to live your life, okay? I understand you may not be a coffee person. I wasn't either until I got me some Roast House coffee. Now, Roast House was gracious enough to send me Liquid Thunder. Liquid Thunder is a fan favorite in-house blend made by the Roast Coffee House. It combines the bold, smooth taste of dark roasted Colombian coffee beans with a subtle hint of chocolate to top it off. You can't beat it, bro. Let me tell you a little bit more about Roast House. The Roast House is not your ordinary coffee shop. They roast freshly imported coffee beans from all around the world, in-house daily. Located in Brownsville, home of the brave, putting work in the street like a slave, Texas. Our mission is to bring the taste of the world into South Texas, one bean at a time. From popular flavors to in-house blends, we serve all natural, preservative-free coffee, espressos, teas, and other beverages. Homie, come on into our shop and enjoy a fresh cup of joe, or take some bean grounds home for your loved ones. So come get a fresh cup of joe, or come take some beans to go. You heard it here first. Take some grounds home for your loved ones to enjoy. And for those not living in South Texas, don't fret. Don't even worry about it. We will be launching an online store soon for coffee lovers across the world. You too will be able to taste coffee done right. Listen, folks, if you want some coffee, you want some high-grade stuff, you don't want to mess around with the Starbucks, right? You don't want to mess around with the Dunkin' Donuts. You don't want to mess around with the Wawa. You don't want to mess around with the McDonald's coffee, all right? You want to go straight to the house, the Roast House. Baby, Roast House Coffee. Look it up online. Look it up on Instagram. It's the newest. It's the latest. Thank you so much for sponsoring my podcast. Everyone enjoy today's episode. Love you.